All right, good morning, team. Morning. Lots to get through here. So we're going to get on with it today. All right. I want to give away either a My Funded Futures account or a Lucid account today on stream. So I'm going to ask you to get me to 1,500 likes today. So if you're here nice and early, do me a favor, smash that like button now. I hate to say it, but we need to start getting these likes up on these streams in the mornings. Okay, let's get into the chart. Focused on the daily as always, so we have a reference point. All right, we broke out yesterday, outside bar. We have an inside bar today. All right, traveling back inside previous days bar, inside current week. All right, not expanding current week. And the key thing here is this high volume node and the 2026 point of control, which is currently positioned around 580. All right, so this area is the area where we do not want to be a new money long. All right, as we approach here, you are asking for trouble if you're a new money long. That's not to say it can't get further upside, but we have an awful lot of chop in here. And the way we're thinking about this is anyone who is bought up here this year in 2026 is currently stuck because we're under the POC. So it's all about whether we backtest this and stay heavy. Now in this same area, we have the 50-day, we have the 5-day, we have the 20-day, we have the POC, and we have some options levels. All right, so we're watching the market, how we react there. We do not want to be a new money long up until it's possible there's a short down. It's also very possible that we bid out today. All right, and we're going to go over those by looking at the hourlies. Oh, I've got to pull this down, haven't I? We've lost that a bit. There we go. There we go. That looks a bit better for you guys, doesn't it? All right, this is what we're looking at. Grey node. Okay, into the hourlies and value. All right, I'm going to pull this up so you can see it. All right, we're coming topside into the expected move today already. All right, so if we think about yesterday, we were long yesterday off the lows, weren't we? We flushed the lows and we got long for that move back up. They've held a higher low overnight. All right, you have compression here, major compression. When you see this, all right, this is a failure to make a new low. That is always problematic for shorts because they need a new low to get money off the table. That's just how they operate. They're targeting these 28,800s. They don't get it. And what we do is like an inverted head and shoulders, right? Down here on an hourly, bang. There's the squeeze relief. Here's the RBS retest, right? Resistance becomes support. There you go. You do it in a 3-hour bar. One up, one inside, one breakout. All right, so we are in breakout on the hourly, but this is a level that we do not really want to be a new money long at for the first attempt. All right, and if we think back to the daily, what did we say? Right, in towards 580, in towards 580. So the test can come up here. The ideal way, if we're going to do that today, is absolutely no guarantee we do that today at all. I would expect that to happen after NVIDIA earnings, if anything. If we're going to be a new money long, right, we would like a retest of this area here, wouldn't we? All right, we've got an LVN from last week. We've got previous week's value area low. We've got previous day value area high, previous day point of control. So any pullback, ideally into here or above here, that starts to show a willingness to be bid, we can try and get buy side for this dip, all right, if they're going to hold value for that move into 420s. Now, once we get there, we can trim some up into 400s, and if they want to hold the bid over it, maybe it's an ad, maybe it's just to let the runner go, and we see if we do get up to 580s today, and we will pay attention to these 450 zones here. I'm willing to look for traps down here as well, all right? So if they can come to previous day value area high, flick underneath, reclaim previous day value area high, that's a nice cheap buy. That's an ad, that's the trade back upside as well. And again, that's a runner probably. If we lose value, all right, if we lose previous day's value, if they come back down here, come to point of control, back into value, struggle to get above, this all becomes resistance and supply, these buyers from overnight become trapped, then we can play the rotational move back downside, and that would be a rotation of previous day's value. That's the trade I like least at the moment, but I'm open to trading it. If we get there, that's what sets up. If we do a big squeeze at the open, all right, there's two trades up here. Again, this is the trade I really want, some variation of this or this. This is the trade I would like to happen today. If we squeeze the open up here, all right, it's going to be very hard to get long, and I don't really love the short on the first attempt, all right, unless they trade over this, come back down, stuff it a few times. We'd have to respect the volume on the way down. Then maybe we can look for that. What you need to be very careful of, those of you, I'm sure there are some of you already short in this, right? If you rip the open up here and they base over this, right, they can do this move. They absolutely can do this move today if they want to. So just be aware of that if you're already sitting short side. Gamma wise, we've moved into positive gamma, all right? And we're back into positive gamma. Everything basically over this level here, just call it 29,100, we're in positive gamma. So regime change 40 DTE, all right? So more rotational, more slow grinds. No way, look what happened, we held it. Oh, there's a slow grind, all right? No way, positive gamma. All right, very different to neg gamma, all right? Very different, right? Different regime. So ideally, we come back down here, trap some, and we can slow grind back up to here, be ideal. Right, Cool Wall 1 is right near our first expected move and this point of control. I'm watching this level. If we get through that, maybe they put some more cool walls in all the way up here. I'm not really expecting the market to get up there, but I'm open to it. So I'm probably going to trade between sort of 400 and 200 today. For me, I'm thinking there's probably about a 200 point range in here if we can hold it. Okay, lower time frame, let's get through it. Let's get through all the other indexes, see where we're at. Flip this over, let's put a 5 minute on here. Let's get the flow zones on here. And let's get to the ES. All right, same kind of story here, gapping up on ES. We flip this zone, all right, very simple. That's now a bullish zone. And coming up into resistance point, all right, this was a support, it was a resistance, became a support, became a support, became a support, became a resistance, and there's a resistance again. So maybe they hold up here at 700, but I think more likely some kind of drive down into 90s, right? You can see we're building out a range here. If they can hold the midpoint of this range, they can have another go at it, all right? If they can build out at the midpoint of the range. So I'll be watching to see if ES holds dips in and around sort of 90s, right? Everything is positive gamma over 75s here, all right? So we're looking for that kind of move there. If they lose this shelf, right, it just means we've explored one end of the range and we probably then come to the other end of the range, right? There's your box, all right? So it's not the most ideal setup, but if they can hold dips, maybe there's a retest. If we get through the 720s, potentially up to 740s today, but doesn't look great. It looks more like we're going to build out more liquidity at the moment. Spiders, same kind of story. There you go, top side of the range. These are all the same levels we had yesterday. I haven't changed a thing, right? So all that we're going to add in is this midpoint here. If TradingView wants to play ball, right here. All right, so slight into this range from yesterday, these highs where we eventually have gapped up and over. All right, so we're leaving an opening gap. So what we're looking for basically is a gap and go, right? There's your gap. We're looking for a gap and go kind of play up to the top side of the range today. Up here, then, they will make the same decision as we just talked about on the Qs, all right? Either they're going to stuff this back down or they get back over it and we come to the next block and we can flip this and we can probably thin that out a bit as well. Let me have a little look-see. That looks okay. All right, so if we do hold 65-ish on the spiders, we're looking for the move back to 68, over 68, squeeze relief up to 70s. If we lose 65, we go back into the range and possibly down towards yesterday's value area low. QQQ, same kind of story. This is your big gap, right? So we filled more than half of that gap, remember, on a daily. Right, we filled some of this gap. There you go. There's the gap on the daily. So we came into it yesterday. We caught a bid from it yesterday. We have gapped up overnight, all right, and we're possibly going to flip this zone. We can probably bring this down a little bit here. All right, so we're watching sort of this 710 area, this pivot right here, 711, 710, possibly all the way down to 707. It's not ideal if they come down there, but ideally, again, gaps here. We're looking for a gap and go kind of play here, but if they cannot hold this pivot, you need to be very aware of them closing that gap and coming inside a range. All right, everything is available today. We have to be very careful. We're building out liquidity. Remember, the fireworks will start Wednesday evening and Thursday. All right, crude coming back down inside after that news this morning saying, hey, we're trying to get a deal done, blah, 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 blah. Believe it if you want. What a load of bollocks, right? How many times have we heard this? We're into fucking month 6. Yeah, a deal's done, we've won it, and another deal's done, and we've done another deal. Yeah, 2 boats came through Hormuz yesterday, 2, right? Let that sink in. But, you know, algos love news, so we'll see. Do they hold the pivot here, all right, and push back upside? Do they call the Fugazi and push back upside, or is this market going to come down, all right? If we come down in crude, it's good for inflation, it's good for the market, all right? It all depends whether they call a Fugazi or not right now, I would say. That's what you're watching. Gold probably going to follow the same way, all right? So this is the hedge right now of it all. So they're starting to get stuck here, as we expect in gold. It could actually do with a pullback, to be quite honest, into 4.5s before it does anything else, and obviously below 4.4s, it's in trouble. VIX still stuck in that tight little range. Nothing's changed here. All right, we're on a 4-hour here. If we go to an hourly, nothing's changed. Very tight coiling range. This is concerning for me. I would say this is very, very, very concerning. This is what we always do before a big rip. All right, we always come into this zone here. We get trapped. All right, we come into this zone. We get trapped. We do this dance, and then we see this. We do this dance, and then we see this. We do this dance, and then we see this. It's concerning. I always get worried when the VIX is down here. People get a little complacent. Dollar continues to see some weakness here. This is the over-under at the moment. All right, maybe a little pushback in, and we see if failures come. All right, broader market. Let's have a look at the MAG to start. I'm going to come down to a 5-minute here for a second. All right, gap up in the 5-minute. Again, just ranging out. Nothing here. This is over a week here now. If we think about Monday last week, we're into Tuesday. Here's our range. All right, slowly trying to grind back up, but they cannot find a bid over 67, 80, 68s for that move up to 50s and above. All right, so we're just stuck. And you got to say, they're holding midpoint well, but if they lose that, a retest of those lows comes, and P1 is right the way down here. But they are positive gamma in that kind of slow grind phase. Software, looking okay. Again, same kind of thing though. In over a week sideways, here's your extreme, here's your mid. Right, not much to do here right now. Market's just waiting for something meaningful, probably waiting to get through summer months as well. Soxal, all right, there's your response. All right, there is your response. Remember, NVIDIA earnings tomorrow at the afternoon bell. All right, maybe some positioning early here in the Soxal. It has sold off a lot. All right, it is important to zoom out here. All right, we have washed a significant amount. If we think about this base that we made for quite a few years in and around these 70s, we have actually come towards it. The question we're posing right now is, are short sellers, all right, clearly we have a pivot high, higher, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, not a lower low yet. Is there a pivot put in here? All right, and does that happen before NVIDIA earnings? If not, what I'd be questioning is there a liquidity sweep of this and then this rally and relief? And I'm ready for both for swings, so be aware of that. But all I'd say is that's a significant dive back down. We do expect a bid out of this. Even if it's a short-term bid like we're seeing this morning for some relief. So chips are finding a bid right now, and it's worth being aware of that. And they can close the gap from Friday for a move up to 2220s, right? So if we flip this over a little bit, let's give ourselves a chance here of getting these levels correct. Day market, there we go. All right, and we'll see if they can hold either. What's this, Friday's pivot or pre-market? Pre-market Monday into Monday open. Come on. Here we go. We'll see if they're willing to hold this today. Otherwise, gap fill is all the way down here. Oh my God, TradingView, you are absolutely on one again. There we go. No, still can't get it right. There we go. All right, individual names, we've got to be quick here. Apple opening up flat inside range. Amazon, gap up. See if it can hold its bid over 62s, otherwise right back to 60s. Google, slight gap up here. Again, needs to hold pivots over 343s. Meta, that's a better move, starting to get that curl out of it, but it's probably due a retest of 554 soon. Softy, opening up downside with the pressure on software. NVIDIA should be gapping up. There you go. There's the gap up. So at that neutral zone, back in positive gamma. We'll see if we can get a retest of 214s here today. Tesla coming back down inside after that monstrous move last week into a key pivot area. I'd say 351s down to 340s. It needs to hold. All right, that's your market. All right, mixed bag on the MAG, but strength coming from semis. All right, so from semis and NVIDIA leading that charge in Mag 7 world. All right, team, you know what we're looking for, or at least you should do. All right, I want to see if we can flush down into here and find some dips there today. And if they can't hold that, then we will reassess. All right, good luck, everyone. Let's get those likes up early. Remember, we're looking for 1,500 likes today to do either a Lucid or a My Funded Futures giveaway. Yesterday, we had 3,000 people on stream at one point. And I think only 1,000 of you hit like, and only 600 of you hit like before I reminded you. So please smash that like button for me. Here we go. Good luck, everyone. Let's see if we can come down into here and wash everyone out. I would absolutely love it if we could. Can we come down? That's tapping previous week value very low there. Zoom this in a little bit. We'll get some volume on it. Please don't rip it straight away, mate. Please, please, please. Spider's holding a bid. Yes, just shy of VWAP, holding a bid. Mag with a big push to start the day. That's a really big push on the mag to previous day high here. Semis coming back down inside. We want to see if semis can hold 115 to 113 today, remember. If it forces me to buy this, I'm going to be annoyed. I really want this lower. Watching 115 to 113 on semis. Oh my God, they're just going to fucking rip this thing. Who's this buyer who's just come and trapped all these sellers at the lows? They're going to take this right up to 370 if they hold this bid. I have to join this, joining in here, small size. Peeled some off in that first move to 43s. There's an unfinished auction at 47s and at 66. It's just playing the momentum in front of me now. All dips that hold 311, I'll stay in this. Added a little piece there. Taking that first one off, break even there. Well, they couldn't hold. I thought they were just going to absolutely rip that with those sellers caught at 28s. I made a whole $50 there, and that's it. Thank God for hotkeys. I'm going to see if this rebids here and holds again. I would much rather be a buy down here, but they look like they were absolutely going to rip that then. They might have another go at it here. I'm now flat. Let's see if they can come back in and hold 11s again. You cheeky bastards doing that. Here they go for it. Well, they're going to go without me now. So they're going to go for 64s and then they're going to go for highs here. So they're looking to finish an auction at 64s here. The first auction to finish is at 47s, which you just tapped again. They should lift this straight up. Here you go. Here's 64s. You cheeky buggers, man. You cheeky, cheeky buggers. Cheeky, cheeky buggers. I had that as well. I had that and I basically took it off break even thinking you should have gone straight away. Cheeky. Cheeky, cheeky. All right. Semis caught the bid in front of 115s. I'd like to get back in this if we can pull back a bit. Mags getting stuffed inside of previous day highs. So they came right up to the highs here. Potentially, if you hold a big bid at 37s, you could have another go at this. I'd much rather this comes lower. I'm going to watch this, though. I would much rather this comes lower here. There's the hold of 37s. Here's the auction that you're looking for above. 64s is what they're trying to reprice, and through that, maybe you get a swipe up to previous week close, which is 90s or 87s. Sorry, folks, this is on a 5, isn't it? There we go. My bad. There it goes. Well, that was the move, right? Any hold of previous week value. That was it. This kind of area. They washed me out here, break even, when I tried to add. There's the finished auction, and and away it goes. Up and away it goes. Stop saying stuff like it will sell off from here. You have no fucking clue that it will do that, all right? You are now just hoping, all right? Just don't say things, right? We call a sell when it starts happening, all right? We don't predict what the market's going to do. We read the order flow in front of us. Here it goes. Semis, new high day. So they're rotating semis and mags at the moment. All right, there goes your semis. Mags are down here. All right, that's rotating the two. I'll zoom this in for a little bit. Can we get a 1 minute on here? Oh, it is. All right, so there's the strength. Semis held the dip, gone. Up, up and away. That's why the market's lifting. Mags coming back inside. It's opening range. Software weak on the day. All the markets moved into semiconductor squeeze, which is what we thought would happen today. That's just a question of, can I get long now? Are they willing to hold the pivot of 345-ish? Which is what I have to watch now. Again, I would much rather I was long down here, but we will watch this sort of pivot into 345, maybe even down to 314s. We'll just see here. Is it willing to come down there? Is it even willing to come down to that big blue box, which would be super nice if it was willing to do that. And they're not even coming to 345s yet. Holding point of control here for now. I don't know if there's a way I can get in this at the moment. I really want to get in. Here's a move back down towards 345s. Semis reflushing back down to the midpoint. What's that value area low? 18s. Does that match up well? It does. That's the hold. All right, put a tiny piece on there at 45s. They got a breakout here. My stop's break even. Then we go take it off straight away. See if they come down to value area low now. So basically two scratches for me there to start the day. Can still build out on this hourly. And be patient here. They're not going to make this easy, I don't think. Oh, you want the bubbles on? Yeah, sorry. There you go. So I'm scratch so far. Reclaim 45s there. Now if they pull back and hold 45s again, I'll have another go at that same level. Yeah, please come back a bit and show me that these buyers are willing to hold. Please. God, it's a big battle here. I'm watching this. Just want to see this buyer hold 45 here. Here's the flush into it. They can't hold this. I'm not interested. This is the level right now. All right, I'm long. Small piece again. Please go for me. Third time's a charm. Tight stop on here. Stops right here. Oh, kept me in by a tick. Come on, third time's a charm. Can you please lift it? Moving stop up now because it shouldn't come down to that last week we just put in. So I'm right on it. Out. Break even again. 3 break evens to start the day. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I can show you my scorecard here. 3 break evens. I got that 1 partial off today. That was it. That's it. There's my scorecard. Lagging, unfortunately. All right, I'm going to wait now for this then. Semi's got stuck at 120, coming back down to 117s. They're still holding their pivot. Remember, semis can hold 115s to 113s and still look strong today. Thanks, Alex. I have the market zones from your newsletter, and I just got that trade from 280s and TP'd out. Very nice, mate. Yeah, 280s and 220s. 220s yesterday became the level. the over under yesterday, right here. Once we held that and Globex, this was the easy money trade. Look, right, this is what we faded and traded up to yesterday. All right, between here, once we got over that, that's the easy money trade. That's where my box is today. I want to ideally see that traded back into to give me the best long opportunity. I'm just not sure we're going to get there right now, given what semis are doing, but we'll see. Just requires a lot of risk management right now in summer months, smaller size, and just playing what's in front of us for base hits. We've now created a shelf up here at that 45 where we were trying to long. So buyers above that level who have been unwilling to stop out where we stopped out are currently stuck, right, intraday. So buyers are currently stuck up here right now. Remember, we had a go at this, maybe a go at this 3 times. So I've stopped out on those, right? And I got one little partial. Was it down here? Well, I can't remember where it was. Too quick already. But this is now the level. Over that, they're looking for relief, right? This is clearly the level. It's been the level all morning. It's where the battle keeps taking place. Semi's finding the bid back up to VWAP again. This is where it gets hard for me. I'm like, do I want a 4th go at this? Do I want a 4th go at this when we're just trading inside value now for the day? Do I want a 4th go here? That move. This is what it's trying to do. It just keeps getting stuck. If you're in this 4th go, it looks like it's going. I'm not in it now. You gotta love trading, man. Why else would you do it? You have to love this game because it is hella frustrating. It's always the 4th. Murph, I know. It used to be always the 3rd. Now it's always the 4th, man. We're still just rotating value at the moment. Semis came up to VWAP. Got a pullback off VWAP. They're now holding the New York Open. So they're now stuck between VWAP and New York Open. MAG has found a bid though, all right, which is good. All right, MAG's found a bid into previous day high here. If they can base over that, right, that's a good shot. Software's also caught a bid here. So we are rotating these right now. It would be nice if they all 3 caught a bid together at some point today, if we're going to get that move. My laugh brings you joy. My laugh because I'm not in stuff. Yeah, you've got to, man. Like, you honestly, you have to. I emailed someone about this yesterday. You've got to love this game to stay in it. If you're just in this for money and you can't laugh at when some, because remember, it's zero sum. Someone on the other side of this tape, right? The fact is, someone on the other side of this tape has beaten me today. 3 times they've beaten me. 4 now because I'm not in it, right? And you got to laugh at that and just accept it and be like, all right, mate. Well, you got my number this morning. I'm green, so I'm not stressed about it, right? But it's like, you gotta love it. It's like a big game. It's like I've just played Call of Duty. I thought I've had someone's number. He said, "Hey, come and shoot me," and his mate's around the corner and just popped me in the head 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row. Bah, bah, bah. Sent me back to Gulag. That's how I see it, honestly. It's just a game. And I do love the game. I get tired sometimes, but I actually genuinely love trading. The only time I hate trading is when I cannot control my reactions to my emotions. You can never trade and control your emotions, but if I can't control my reactions, if I've got too much pressure off the screen, I've got a lot off the screen this year. It continues to be ongoing, but I think I'm just getting better at dealing with it, and maybe with time, with stuff off the screen, you start to come to terms with things, you know. What if I was in the same situation but not green? Well, I should be flat, right? If I wasn't green by a little bit, I should be flat. If I was red on that, it means I got too loose with my stops. I'm not loose with my stops. If I am loose with my stops, it means I'm trading poorly, right? Especially when I'm trying to trade momentum. Remember that the idea today was long all the time we're holding previous week and potentially down here. So if we trapped down here, the long was still here. If we flushed in, the long was there. It was a bit too quick for me. I tried to join on this move out. We've tried to hold this pivot. All right. If I just risk that, I'm okay with that being a red trade. But if I've got loose and we flushed and I've left that in, that's poor trading. And then I wouldn't be very happy. That's nothing to do with the market then. Remember, we can only control the controllables, which are when we enter, how much size we put on, and where our stop is. And if you're doing that badly, that's on you. That's not on anyone else. I hate rotation days. Yeah, I do. The H1 still looks okay. Like it looks, we're back above 45. I'm going to watch this again here. Semi's back into VWAP. All the time we're above this, I'm actually kind of bullish. It's just I don't want to be long too close to this. I'd much rather be long down here if possible. But let's see. If we hold 45s, maybe I'll have one more little lift here. Here it comes. All right, I'm playing momentum here. I'm trying to get long in this through value. Here we go. There's one TP. You're going to come and take my break even straight away on the next one? Go on. Get up there to 400s. Come on, get up there to 400, 430 for me. Come on, market. No. Come on. Semi's trying to hold New York Open. Semi's slowing this down. Semi's coming back under New York Open. And another stop there. Oh, that slipped me. What are you doing slipping that? What a load of bollocks that is. So that's 4 goes now at the same level. It wants to go. Like I can see it wants to go. They need to lift through this and get up to here. I've got to be careful here because I don't want to be out of bullets early in this session. Here it goes again. All right, let's have one more go at this for momentum up here. Moving my stop up into the money on this one so I don't get slipped again. I'm looking to see if we can get up towards this purple box. Here we go. Here's previous week close. Can we get inside this? Now, previous week close is at 87s. Once we get inside that, we're an inside bar of the previous week, remember. I'm trying to get in this purple box for a TP, and if we get above that today, then maybe squeeze potential up here. I doubt it, but that's where I'm trying to get into. Here we go. Come on. There's previous week close. Hold the bid now over 71s, please. All right, we want the bid to hold. God, I've moved that for you. We want the bid to hold over this now. Now we've faffed around all morning. We do not want to see a fail breakout here. Oh, come on, trading view while I'm in a trade. Please hurry up. All right, we need this here. All right, we do not want it back inside this. So 45s was the level. There's your 45. They've built a shelf there now. So we had a few goes at that. They'd had to do this move here, which is fine. Can we complete this here now? That's what we're looking for. If they can hold sort of 70s. If they can't hold 70s, they're going to flush it back down to 45 again, which is not what we want, right? We want them to hold 70s here, this level right here, right now. All right, semis much better through VWAP here. Let's see if they can hold the bid here. Seriously, come on, back over 70s and fast, please. Mag absolutely ripping, which is great. All right, Mag's on a tear right now. We're just looking for semis to get back up here. That will really help us. Starting to base out here. It's looking a little bit better if we can just lift this up, right? They flushed a bit deeper than I would like into this LVN. You mentioned, thank God for hotkeys. Can you elaborate on your strategy for executing on your stop loss criteria? Stop loss criteria has absolutely nothing to do with hotkeys, mate. I use a hotkey to move break even. I have a break even. I have a break even plus 1 point as well. And here we go. Come on, baby. Get up there. Right, into TP zone here. Buy got caught at that height. I'm going to take a little piece off here and then see if we can really start shoving this. Come on, semis. Everything's lining up. Let's fucking go, finally. Oh my God, I was getting frustrated there for a second. Right, come on. Come on, market. Up, up and away now. Yalla, yalla, habibi. Yalla. Try and let this work now. I've taken a little TP here, and I'm trying to let this work now. See if we can get up to previous day high at 480. Here we go. So we had the right thesis. They just made it a little bit hard this morning to build out that liquidity. And we're up and away. See if we can get to 450s. I've already taken some. 480s would be nice. That's previous day high. Here goes semis on the charge up towards high of day. Let's see if we can get any more out of this. We have, let me just check this liquidity from overnight. Yeah, 426 would be ideal. This is an internal sweep. Try and see if we can get up here. We did it. We got it. Yallah. Yallah habibi. Mi habibti. Come on. All right, all pullbacks have to hold 76s here. If you want to risk a bit more, you can down to this LVN. I'm not going to risk any more. I'm trying to hold the runner. As always, as I've been trying to. Oh, you absolute slime ball. Please hold this. Don't come back inside the orb. Good. If we take this wick low out, I'm out. If we take this wick low out here, I'm out, guys. The one it's just put in. It has to protect that. Oh, I'm out. Every time I give a runner a go. It's in my journal. Try and give it more of a chance. Try and give it more of a chance. Try and give it more of a chance. Remember today we were looking, we did talk about this beginning of the day. My thesis was we trade from here to here. I tried to give the runner a chance just in case they wanted to get going. They didn't. So flat on the runner. At least we got that one to go finally. Flat now. Semi's coming back to VWAP. See if they hold the bid here. You want MAG to hold the pullback into 67.60s. Basically, has to hold that pullback. All right. So his semi still haven't broken out high day. They're curling to do it, but this pullback did enough damage in the Qs where I've stopped out, and we're trying to see if MAG can hold this move here. I will remind you, I would be very cautious about any new longs up here. Remember, we said we don't want to be a new money long up here. We can consider it on a break and hold of it, but we really want to be long down here. That's where we really want to be long. This was the best long of this morning, previous week value area low. Right, I'm going to remind you the pathing today, in case you've just turned up on screen. All right, we were looking. These, here you go. Here, this is what we've just had, right? Look at blue dotted line, previous week value area low. I'm happy for a trap underneath it and a reclaim, and we're looking for this move up to 400s. We've had it, right? Anything above that would be this. That would be the second thing. This is a much harder trade, all right? Nvidia keeps making new highs. Yeah, well, they're trying to position early for tomorrow. It's a funny one, right? Historically, Nvidia rips on earnings and dumps straight afterwards. I'm wondering if tomorrow is going to be the other way around. I'm just wondering because we've drifted so low in the semis. All right, are we going to bid up a little bit today, go flat? It depends how much they bid tomorrow. Go flat, dump it back down, and then catch the bid and rip it. You just wonder. We don't have a market leader right now. Broader market, I mean, other than the rotation which had been happening into energy and healthcare, all right, and we're starting to pull back on that a bit today. Why? Because we've gone back in, that we're letting go of energy. Remember, oil coming back inside. I'm sure cracks coming right back inside as well. I'll have a look at that in a minute. All right, and we're rotating back into tech, right? So where we've had weakness, think about the pie chart we'll talk about. These have all been red for, I don't know, the last week or two, and they've been bidding up healthcare and energy. They haven't been bidding up consumer defensive because Walmart got smashed on earnings, and they've been bidding up finance. Now they're selling finance, selling healthcare, selling energy, selling defensive, and rotating back into tech. Right, so they flipped the pie chart. Yesterday sold $1 million worth of calls on Nvidia. They really, I mean, it's unsurprising. We've been doing this build for 5 hours. It should break out soon. Well, look, we are into one of the expected moves here, right? I don't know if you can see this. It's underneath this. This is expected move 1. If we get through that, this is based on yesterday, all right? So based on yesterday's Options chain, this is the top side of the expected move. Based on pre-market, they're saying they're willing to trade us up towards 600 today. And I think, I'm going to have to double check. I think, was that the weekly level, folks, from the newsletter? I can't remember. But that would be the top side move. I still think there is a chance. All right, you've had 3 attempts here now. 1, 2, 3. I still think there's a chance for a bear trap to live in here. That's where that's the easiest move. That is with a bigger size move. We can scale into this more with good protection, right? If they sweep that, for example, and reclaim, that is the easier long today. This is very hard to get long. Remember, trains left the station a little bit. If we zoom out a bit, where was the long opportunity? Where were we long yesterday? Okay, we were long yesterday down here from the compression, right? These were our longs yesterday. Bang, bang. Okay, that was yesterday, right? They run these stops overnight. That's your train leaving the station. Long, long. That's the easy money long. RBS flip. Okay, that's maybe an add or a new position. This is tough. Where they've positioned us for New York is tough. If they can come back into here, it becomes a very interesting trade. So I'm going to be flat now and wait for that if we can come back in there, because we've come up to that target today already. All right, we had tried to hold a runner, didn't go. All right, MAG coming back down into that 67.60s we talked about. See if they hold the bid at 67.60s. Semis coming back down towards low of day. Semis are technically still bullish for me all the time. They're willing, bullish intraday. All the time they're willing to hold 115, potentially down to 113. I think that's kind of the level, 115 to 113 they will need to hold on the SOXL. That's the level for me. And I'm going to wait to see if we can come down here now. I'm not going to look for a long at the bottom of this range for the day, not at the moment. It's a choppy market. I'm green on the day. I'm going to let this build out and do whatever it is they need to do. Don't miss the move. I'm not missing anything right now, folks. There's nothing being missed. I mean, if you want to sell this, you need to have this be protected. If you're looking for this move, that's absolutely fine. I totally understand. I'm going to wait for it to come into here and look for this kind of move out of it. Or, like we said, if we go back into rotation and we can't get back out of this, I'm going to look for that. I'm not going to trade this area at the moment. Here's your New York Open. I'm not looking for a short in this market at the moment. Semis protecting lower day again. I still would like to see those come to 115 as possible. Flush everyone out and catch a bid. Yeah, consumer confidence, you're right. Top of the hour. Can't imagine that read's going to be very good. Some selling into 300s here just got caught. I don't think they're particularly big. How big were they? 51 lot. What were you at the bottom? 45 lot. Yeah, not that much size. There is someone trying to bid here. I think he'd probably get washed out. He's tried twice now to protect this 300. And I'm waiting, folks. I'm going to wait, ideally, for some kind of bear trap in here if I'm going to bid this back out. The expected move held. I'm going to wait for us to travel down into here somewhere and see if they're willing to hold. I'm just going to happy to be flat until then. No reason to push size right now. What value do I have for trades? Well, it depends what I'm looking at, because this is only estimated, right? They don't give, it's not like true value for Delta. But for here, I'm looking for anything over 60s, really, when I'm looking at Spectra. Delta over 60s, single lot Delta over 60s is what I'm looking at. TradingView tries to estimate it based on the order flow. It's not always truly accurate, I'm going to be honest with you. even with tick data. How do you tell what previous week value area low is? I think you need to go and watch my video, which is completely for free, mate, on volume profile. That will help you. All right, retesting value area low from current day. Absorption taking place there. Sellers trying to get this flush down into this box. They want new low of day break. Mags to VWAP here. So it's into that 67.60 area. If they don't hold the bid here, then you're going to see this flush back out. Same with semis. They're approaching low of day. There is absorption in the last couple minutes down here, but you would imagine they're going to try and reflush this down here. That's what I'm interested in, if they can flush down here and hold the bid. I'm watching this H1, right? This is what I'm watching at the moment. Think about this. Compression, right? We've done this move, this move. We're walking back in. I'm watching this zone here. I'm watching this to see if we bid out of it or not. Here comes the news. So they're starting to have this all hit the tape here. Let me just look below. Is there any big boys down here anywhere? There's lots of liquidity to fill all the way down to 60 at the moment. Bookmap struggling here to deal with data. It's just giving me a warning. So they're jostling for position here. Are you waiting if you don't mind extending it a bit on your hotkeys on trading? Are you wait? What do you mean? I don't understand what you're asking there. If you're going to ask questions, guys, can I ask you to use whole sentences? I'm not a mind reader. I don't. If you don't use a proper question, I don't know what you're asking. All right, here's previous week value area low, tapped into new low of day, protected. Semis did not make a new low of day. Mags are letting go though, coming back to the midpoint. Still waiting to see if we can get down here and trap sellers. That's the main move that I would like to see today. That was the pre-market plan, right? This here, all right? If we can trap sellers in there, that's what I'm watching for this morning. Nvidia earnings play, mate. Nvidia earnings is tomorrow. I don't know what you mean. All right, they're pushing Nvidia back up this morning, but what do you mean Nvidia earnings play? You want me to give you a gamble on what to do? No. Oh my God, guys. All right, enough. I can't. If you don't know how to mark value areas on the chart, then please go and watch the free videos. I'm not here to go over the most basic stuff. There are plenty of free videos on my YouTube for you to learn the absolute basics. All right, I'm here to trade here this morning. Really sorry. You need to spend your time learning. Right, there's plenty of free stuff on my YouTube that you can learn stuff that you're asking. That's the third person that's asked it this morning. No more. Chat's gone off. I'm going to focus here now. Right, ES coming into its pivot that we marked out this morning. All right, so you're watching those old highs from yesterday. It's coming into that kind of zone. So you'd expect them to try and catch a bid here, potentially down towards 60s. If it loses 80s, then it's going to come down towards 75s, but you'd expect them to try and catch a bid here. Mags coming back down violently here. Who's the bleeder there? Not that much, that's surprising. And semis into low of day. All right, and we're watching, remember, 115s to 113s we expect semis to bid out of. So I'm looking for some form of trap down into here to trap the bears. That's what I would like to see happen. And then I will be looking for the bid to come back out of that. If we can hold value down here and reclaim, I'll be looking for a bid back out. So any kind of thing, deeper the better really, because it's going to give me better RR. Something like that would be great. If they don't do it and they do that, maybe. And if they come back in here and they get stuck, then it's a different trade and we'll be looking for the rotation of previous day's value. But all the time we're above that, I'm looking for value to hold. And just have to wait for the sellers to get stuck, because we don't know if they will get stuck. If they get stuck, we will trade it back out the upside. And if they don't get stuck and they go into rotation, then maybe I'll have to consider playing the rotation. I don't really want to consider playing the rotational move, but if I have to and it sets up, then that's what we will do. All right, new low of day here on semis. Here's the 115s. So from here to 113s, semis will need to find a bid. That is what they will need to do. There's the initial bid of the 115 level. Now I'll say if they lose 15s, they will go 13s, I would imagine. I'm going to have to watch the order flow now because I'm going to need to look for a big participant or two to start getting caught down into these areas. Some exhaustion down there. Lower the better here. The closer we get to previous day value area high and trap sellers, the better. Some bid coming in here. Can we go and fill it all the way down to 210s is what they're showing bid side. All right, semis catching a bid off 24-hour view up on 115. They're coming back to their opening range, 116. If they go back inside, they will try and trade upside towards 1660s. There's not that much selling caught down here. There is some, but not a lot. There's more exhaustive move at the moment. If we trade back above previous week value area low and view up and hold, maybe I'll have to bid because that would be the move, but they can still react off this previous week. The closer to this, the better, really. So it's a good reaction of previous week. So they're still willing to sell that. So maybe we get down here. It would be nice. Semi's back inside that opening range. Right, it's either a bid over value here if they hold over value area low, or I'll just have to wait for it to come deeper. How big were you? I mean, there's not that much size at the lows yet. There really isn't. Still rejecting previous week. There isn't that much sell side caught at the lows yet, so I am kind of hoping that we come lower here and get shorts to chase this market down. That's what I'm hoping for at the moment. And I'm very aware that if they want to get to current week value area low, it is lined up perfectly with previous day point of control. So that 200 to 180 level. And I know you might be thinking, well, why aren't you taking the short? It's just my brain would prefer right now to let this come all the way in because this is what I'm more prepared for at the moment, right? And then if we fail it, that's okay. I don't really want to chase this market lower. I'd rather let it come in and trap. And if I'm right, we get a trade. And if I'm wrong, then I still get the value trade, right? You're going to sell from 345. I mean, I don't know what your entry was. I mean, it's a good entry. I just don't know what your criteria was there. Feels like a bit of a chase. But, I mean, you've left this area, which is good. This is what we talked about. If we can travel back up into here, there's a sell opportunity down to here. I'm waiting for this bid back out. That's what I'm personally waiting for today. Why? Because that's my pre-market plan, right? So this is my pre-market plan. This is what I'm waiting for. This is what we're coming back into now, or a variation of. Right, so I'm trying to stick to my plan. That's just how I trade. It stops me trying to take too many different trades. Right, I'm just focused on one trade right now. If it sets up, it sets up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Do I think Soxel can trade the overnight gap? Well, look, it's got absolute gex and previous day high at 115. And that's yesterday's initial balance high. If it loses that, it's got a huge call wall that it's flipped down at 113s, which is also the high from lunchtime yesterday. So those are the levels I'm looking at. At the moment, it's catching a bid at 115, right? It keeps catching a bid there. So 115 to 113 is where I think they will bid semis out of. So that probably will line up with this kind of area here. So there's just two options here really for me. We either base back over this and we see this move, or we do an extended flush and then a variation of that. All right, this would almost be better because I can have tighter RR and more size because it's a deeper move, right? And I can risk a little bit more in terms of size because I can have a nice tight stop there of like 20 points if it comes in. If it comes in, there's no guarantee it comes in. It has to come in and then turn, and it might not. Have I looked at the 4 hour? Mate, I look at the hourly all the time. It's literally why I'm looking at this trade. It's exactly why I'm looking at this trade. I literally just showed it. It was rejecting the 4 hour for me, and I hated to go into you, but I traded my plan. I just think we have one more sweep. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. If you were looking for the short here, that's fine. I was looking for the long here to that zone, and I'm going to look for the long here to that zone, right? There's always two sides of the trade, mate. You don't have to trade the way like what I'm looking for. Trading your own plan is exactly what you need to do. If that's set up for you today, that's exactly what you need to do, right? Absolutely. Right, here's the bid back over. So this is the first reaction, and here goes semis into that sort of 116.80, 117 level. So if we hold over value area low, I'll consider it. The low of day is not the best auction right now, but there was some absorption and delta divergence down there. So I will consider it if we start to base over 280s here. That's two poor auctions at the low now that they can come back and sweep, to be honest. So I want to be careful. Do not want to be early on this because I still think there's a chance they can trade lower. Yeah, semi's rejecting that 117 zone. So maybe we get this move down here if I'm really, 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 really lucky. Starting to hold this higher low here. Come on, semis. You've got to get lower for me and then trap them. It's going to be way better for me. If we base over 280s, I will consider it. Still just sat waiting at the moment. If we base over 280s, I'll think about the long. At the moment, I think there's a chance we can still make a new low here. There was some selling at the low of day. It wasn't the biggest, right? What there was down there is delta divergence where we curled back up, but we're still rejecting previous week value area low. So there's no acceptance back inside previous week's value. If we find acceptance, I will be getting long. I do not like the low of day auction. It's the only thing. Like it's sell side, but we've left an unfinished auction there right above an imbalance, and I do not like that they've done that. Still rejecting previous week value. IGV big. Yeah, I mean, most of the market is actually pretty green here. If we just zoom this out to the watch list, if you come down, right, to my swing ideas, right, and you come down to mag, right, when we say they're red, I mean, barely, right? So it's a pullback in this market. We're still, remember, we're still way over gap, way over gap, right? So it's still potentially gap and go. It's just not at the open. I don't think we're in gap fill scenario today. We're certainly not unless we let go of value. No, I'm good. Thanks, love. Okay, semi's rejecting 117, back to on towards the 115 area. Still holding 24-hour view up here. I would really want a flush, 115 to 113, and have short sellers come flying in and just see them absorb that. That is going to be the trigger for me. What's the E in the indicator? Exhaustion. Exhaustion. So this was an exhaustive move. Sellers struggled here. See how we turned around after it? So we actually had absorption and exhaustion here, and then again, and then turned around, right? And we had delta divergence down here as well. I've pulled the delta divergence indicator off, I think, or I've changed the firing on it. Still testing this out, trying to make some changes. All right, come on. Get your ass down there, please. 115 be approached, semis here. Mag's right at that key level, at the 10s. They let go of 09s, they break pre-market lows, and then they get into their gap from pre-market to PDC. So anywhere down here, I'm just waiting to see huge selling come in and get caught. I still haven't seen it yet. Have not seen it on the book. There was some selling there at like 55s down to that low at 30s, but it was kind of more of a gentle walk. There's a little bit caught at 40s, but again, it's not huge, but that end of that auction is better down there now. It's not what I'd want to see. I want to see someone huge get stuck. I'm waiting to see someone massive. We are into that blue zone. It is of interest. Will this act to support? Maybe, but it's only a small one. I mean, it's if they let go, it's they can do this. So we don't want to be early here. We haven't shifted anything yet, but they're still walking it down. All we are at right now is a point of interest for us. That's all we're at. We don't have an entry criteria here yet. All right, we're still making lower highs and lower lows. They're still walking it down. We still don't have a huge seller at the low court yet. All right, so for me, there's no trigger long yet. It's just we're just at an interesting area where I think we might bid out of. That's it. I can be wrong, right? We might not bid out of this, and we might rotate the whole of yesterday's value. We've talked about that as well, right? So it's just an interesting area here. It's nothing else yet. Here's the 115 test coming on semis finally. Now, if they let go of this, what was that pre-market low? 114.36s, and then 113's the cool wall that they flipped. There's the bid off 115s. They've just bid it again. There's notable bid down there at 115s at the moment. A little bit of a seller caught that low, about a 45 lot of the low of day right now caught down there. I'm still not convinced that we're finished yet. But worth noting, how big were you on here? 103, 108 lot according to Bookmap. They're still bidding from 230 to 200 right now. There's still buyers just hanging out down there. No one's been willing to walk up yet. Still patiently waiting here. If they don't get back under 40, it's going to perk my interest for the first time today. It's not the biggest amount of selling. It's not what I'd want to see, but they're starting to feel like they've caught them down there now. It's the first time, right? If we look at this, it's starting to feel like this seller from here, 43, and certainly this guy here at 35s, starting to feel like potentially they've been caught. So we'll watch here. If we start to pivot back over, remember this LVN here. So I'd say 60 to 70. If we pivot back over that and start to hold, it's going to really perk my interest for the first time. Big seller coming in here at the 57s, and he's not getting his way either right now. Still not seeing buyers walk up. I will say that. Still not seeing the buyers walk up. Semis are trying to find a bid off this low. Look, they're trying. They're trying to get back inside this. Right, I'm going to have to focus in now because I think potentially there's a trade setting up. It feels a little bit early, but you just wonder. Where was that guy again? I've got to mark him off 42s. And this last one at 57s. All right, here we go. Now, can they get through this LVN? Waiting to see if these buyers at 200 and 230 start to walk up and protect that low of day. Is what I'd want to see. Here comes the big sellers. Now I need to see these buyers protect these lows. If they don't protect these lows, then they're going to encourage market to come to 230 to 200. What was his level again? That guy at lows, 34s and 40s. And we go back into the 34 level and 40s. This is their zone here. Buyers still not walking up to protect this at the moment. First little bid there, 50 lots just come on. He's just been sold through. Here's another bid there. Right, I'm small long down there now. 45 fill. And I'm not going to risk much, like 2 points. Because if we can't hold 42.50s, then we're going to make a new low. So it's just a starter on, and we'll see. Come on, you got to get back through that LVN, mate. Big 50 lot selling here. He's just come in at that LVN at 50s. We can squeeze him out, we can get going. And then we got to get back above 56s. Don't like that unfinished auction they just left. Idiots. We got whole 50s here. I'm only a starter, but I'm moving break even here already. 45s. Out. Because I don't like that unfinished auction at the lows. Bookmap, come on. Speed up. Willing to get back in. Remember, I'm always willing to get back in. They're still selling the low on this shelf. You just wonder if there's another break coming here. I'm always willing to get back in here. We feel starting to feel a bit closer. There is some selling caught down here. They did not complete this auction at 41. Now they've completed at 41. So that was a good stop by me, just by reading order flow. And maybe they get the move down here now. Fives. It's starting to feel closer here. If we can just get one big trap. A lot of buyers to be filled from 230 to 200 still. No one willing to walk up still at the moment. Same pivot. Over 55 60s, these sellers from the last couple 5-minute candles will start to get stuck, right? So they're starting to sell the lows now. They're looking for this move down here. So even if we come down here, it's these guys that we need to pay attention to, all right? It's these guys, if they get stuck, whose pain we can use for relief, all right? All the time we're under them, there's no trade, which is why I stopped out on that last one on the runner, because we had the chance to pin them and we didn't. 115 still holding here on semis. There's the 115 break. Now, the question is, at that pre-market low, right, which is coming into now at 114 to 39s, if they break that, they're going to flush down to 113s. And that's where the trap can live for me, in my head. And if they don't hold 113s and semis, then this whole trade will not be validated and we will go back into range rotation. More selling at these lows now. This is starting to look better. Now, semis now taking that pre-market low. So from here to 113s on semiconductors, there needs to be a bear trap. And if there is not a bear trap and they come back under 113s, then we will not see this rotational move back up that I've been looking for. We will instead see a rotation of previous day's value, which I will try not to trade. Sounds crazy, but could we sell and go red on the day? I mean, you could do anything. That would be down here. That would be under close. Anything's possible, but we're just going to trade what's in front of us. Like we said, this is what I'm looking for. Some variation of this. If they do this, this is also planned out. If they come in here and they get stuck here, this becomes viable as well. That's my least favorite trade for the day, but it's very possible. Right? It's not like we're not prepared for it. It's very... Where's that trade? That would be... Where's value? This one here. Right? Rejecting the blue box and then rotation of yesterday's value. It's possible. It's not my ideal setup, but we are very aware of it. It's very possible. Okay, there's the flush to 113s. Semi starting to find a bid down there at 113s. 115s is the target which they have to recover. Certainly the first point is 114.34 to 114.70s, which is your pre-market low on semis. So if I can make this make sense for you, there might be a cheap trade here because this is the move into value. I want to teach you, but I'm going to have to watch this because this might be the start of the bid. So I'm getting ready here if there is a cheap trade here. Here come the buyers. They are trying. Here's value area low. Can we get back inside 35s? I'm going to start bidding. There's the push inside 35s. I'm starting to bid this if we can hold 35s here. There's an imbalance now to 27s. This is the pre-market plan. I'm looking for a cheap trade for back up. I'm bid long on this now. I'm start a position in. We haven't pulled back quite enough for me to be proven, but I've got a starter position in. If we start to break over 56s, I will start to add long. Here we go. Really, I'd like to see this hold 35 to 25. Here we go, folks. I want to see this break 56s now. If we start to break over 56s, I'm going to start to add. And then if we start to break over previous week's value area low, I will add as well. So this is where I'm looking for the trap down here. I'm small size to start because it's early. It's a cheap trade. We haven't shifted structure, but we have started to see what I wanted to see on semis. I will show you once I'm comfortable in this trade and I can get my stop in. I'll show you exactly what I was looking for. But if you look at what I said, 115 to 113, I'm looking for a flush and bear trap on semis. If you look at the low of day on semis, 113.47. If you look where we are now, 115. If we get back above 115, we can start moving. This is exactly what I was looking for. I'm sticking to my plan. If the plan fails, I'm okay with it, right? I'm okay with it if the plan fails. Let me take you over to SOXL. Here we go, folks. Got my stop in here and I'll start adding. All right, here we go. This is what I was looking for. This is what I talked about the whole time. There's your 115s. Right, there's the snap. There's your pre-market low. This is the bear trap area. All right, if they hold this and they reprint this above this shelf, this is where we can get going. Otherwise, we build out in here a while. This is why we have stops in and with small positions. If this starts to hold and NQ starts to do the same, we can start adding to our positions. But right now we're small size, trying to protect this LVN right now. All right, simple as that. We're trying to protect that LVN. It's a cheap trade. It's a tough trade. It's a cheap trade. And this is just watching the order flow. The pin at low of day is not too bad. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. 115s is going to be key here on semis. Here we go. They're starting to try and push through 115s. If they can get through VWAP, we're up and away. And I will add if we start to break back upside over all these guys. I'm looking for compression here. You're not going to let me draw, are you? Are you going to let me draw? Remember, this is the area I wanted to bid in, right? Especially if we can get a cheap trade near this, which is where we're long. What I want to see is this start to play out, right? If it doesn't play out, it doesn't play out. We just scratch it. Where's that buyer? 20s. I want 20s protected if possible. Otherwise, new lows. They are still bidding at 200 right now. Somebody's getting stuck at 115. It's a huge level here. Mag's approaching new low of day, so just be careful with that if they wash it down with mags. What we need is a rotation to start here. And ideally, 115 bid. Here we go, back through to 115s. It's a good hold of 20s down here, so that's good. Still sat in this with a starter. If we fail 20s, I'm out. It's that simple. If we fail 20s, I'm out. Again, can always get back in. It's a cheap trade. It's an early trade. We're just trying to get a feeler on here. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's a very tough trade. It's not going to help us. This semi's going to get back through 115. I'm right on my stop here. You're literally on my stop, mate. There, I'm out there on the starter. Again, can always get back in. Not forcing. Happy to eat stops on these trades. The guy at 200 is not helping. He's really not helping. And Mags at lower day is not helping. Wait, I'll wait for the same setup. I'm looking for the same setup as and when it's ready. There's a good stop there at 20s. That's previous day value area high tagged again there now. New lower day on Mags. Semis rejecting 115s. So 115s to 113s still the level on semiconductors. I'm now flat. I will wait for the same thing. Initial balance now set. There's a major flush. Wow, wow, was that news? That's got to be news. That is quite something. Holy shit balls. What just happened there? Who just got hurt? 113's just got bid off on semis there, by the way. What was that? What was that? Let's see. Have we got anything on Financial Juice? Can't see anything yet. Anyone else? Truth Social? Was it really? Well, I'll be looking for the same stuff. If we reject value here, we're going to go on rotation of value. I'm going to still stick to the same thing here because semis just found the bid at 113s. They literally just tagged 113s. Oh, can I get over here? That was a really good stop from us under 20s. Right, they just tagged 113s and caught the bid. That might be it, folks. That might be the trap that we were looking for, but we don't want to be early. Does anyone have what news that is? Trump. I still can't see it. I'm looking on Financial Juice. I cannot see anything yet. Reloading it. Now it's crashed. Hello, Financial Juice. Now I've got a black screen, Financial Juice. Hello. They didn't like that. All mines have been removed. Well, that's positive. All right. This might be the flush where they trap. The only thing I'd say is, well, they held point of control. And we did talk about that this morning. And let's see if we can bid this then, if they're willing to hold initial balance now. Here's value area low. If we can pull back and hold here, I want to be a buyer because this is the move. Please don't do it so quick. I've waited for this all fucking morning. Please don't do it so quick. What do we say? If they want to come all the way down to current week value area low and trap down here, all I need is to rebid that. Please come back in, mate. Please. Trump, you're a bastard. You fucking bastard. Please come back in, mates. Please, 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 please. I still want to be a buyer down here. Nothing's changed for me. Look at that. Semi's gone from 113s to 115.50s. This thing's ripping now back upside. This is everything I wanted. If this leaves without me, I'm going to be really upset because I feel like I've traded very well. I've eaten my stops. I've been patient. Let's see if we can just come down and fill a little bit here. I'm looking for sort of 20s down to 02s, basically. 20s to 200s here. If we can come down and hold a bid. Here we come. Come. I'm going to bid this. 20s down to 200s here. A piece on and that's it. Couldn't flush more for me there. And we come a little bit lower. Oh, I just want to protect initial balance and previous day value area high. So I'm looking for this now. I'm looking for the same move as earlier. This. Got a piece long here. Not enough, but I've got a little bit. I'm still going to look for that news here. Has anyone else's Financial Juice gone down? My webpage won't load. Trump, through Space Force, we are watching every square inch of the strait as we are with Pickaxe Mountain and already destroyed 3 other nuclear sites. There is zero tolerance on mine placement in full force and effect. I've been informed by the United States Navy that all mines have been removed and or detonated from within the international waters of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has been notified that any ship or boat placing new mines will be immediately systematically destroyed. Doesn't sound like that great. Like, positive that they've been removed. It also sounds fairly aggressive. Right, filled a little bit more here. I've got to be careful. You've got to have a hard stop in here, because if they reflush this down, it can get nasty. Under 200, I'm out here. So I've added into this down here. I need to see this reclaim 220s now. This was the play. Nice. Come on, get back over 220s and start going, please. Don't fucking rotate this down. Come on. Up you go. There we go. Good. Now go. Accelerate away now, please. Enough of the bullshit. Please, market. Making my life pretty hard today. We got to get going here, and we got to get going soon. Come on. Come on. This is everything we wanted. Go. 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 Get through point control, for fuck's sake. Get going. So I added in this move down to here. I'm going to add if we start basing above this for this. Okay. This was the move. Look, there's the trap. It was huge. They used news to do it. But there we go. This is the level. Look, this is the level of liquidity we wanted. There's the trap. All right. Came deeper than we would have thought. We said we can come down there if it wants, but that was nasty. We need this now. We need to get going. They need to stop hesitating here. They need to start squeezing this thing back up. Through point of control, ideally. All right, good. Semis, well over 1550s now. We'll see if they can start breaking up back towards VWAP at 16s to 17s, 1650s, 17s. We're positioned well here. We look good. If you want to trim some here, you can. I'm not going to. I am looking for this to get back to 280 level, all the way up here. All right, my first TP is up here. And if we get back inside this, I'm going to look for this node here and higher day, and a higher day, sorry, value area high. Right, so right now I'm very tight on the risk because I've added all the way into this. I'm basically like this, and I'm going to look for this move here, TP1, and I'm going to actually look for that if possible, if it will give it to me today. It might not give it to me, but that's what I'm going to look for. This is the plan if you have just joined, all right? This is the plan. It's a variation of this, right? This is what I'm looking for. It's been looking for this all day. This is what I'm looking for. Blue box, all right? We can trap underneath the blue box, all right? If they want deeper, then we watch previous day, point of control. Right? There's the trap. There's the reclaim. The question is, can we get going now? I'm positioned for it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, okay. Yeah? Where's my stop? Right here at 200s. Like I said, when we're in this trade, I'm going to risk 200s, right? When I was adding in that dip, I'm risking 200s. I did say it. If you go and listen, I literally say it. Here we go. All right. Finally, we're getting something to go. Look at the semis. Finally, they're doing the move. Come on, baby. I've been very patient for this today. Reward me for my patience, please. So if you want to TP some here into 275, into that area, it makes total sense. Let's have a look where people are trapped. There is an unfinished auction up at 314, so hopefully we can get up there. But there's nothing wrong with TPing some here in towards where we are now, 250s to 275s. You can take some. Once we get back inside previous week's value area low, that would be the failed move underneath previous week's value. Right now, what this market's telling me is exactly what I expected. We are not rotating into previous day's value. We are not staying underneath previous week's value, and we can potentially do this. And this is an H1 pullback, and this is what I was hoping for. We positioned well for it. Here we go, folks. I'm sorry it took a few attempts, right? That's trading. I'm not going to be right all the time. The key is whether you can manage your risk effectively. We were very good with our risk today, or at least I was good with mine. If you followed me, then you should have been good with yours. Right, semis came up to that VWAP, finding a little rejection there. We would love semis to find a bid over 115s now. Okay, any pullback, ideally 115.50s, right? But any pullback on semis. This is how important semis and the options are right now. Where did I say I'd like the trap to be? Hello. What's this? 115, 113s. Right? We need this to hold now and to see this move. We know that buyers are caught up here today. That's why we're long in this move, right? And we're not going to add too late. If they can hold this and get going, great. Right, so they sold versus 75s. I'm still holding this for me. Trying to give it a chance to work out at the moment. I did take a TP up there, small piece. I'm trying to give it a chance. Give trance a chance, they said. Why did I want to see the trap there on SOXL? Well, because we'd flipped the call wall down there, and because it was, if you zoom out of that, it was an RBS, right? So not only from an options, right, if I just take you to a 5 minute here, I'll move this again. Right? It's pretty simple, isn't it? There's the highs. There's the gap. I'm looking for a gap and go kind of day, right? There's the hold of RBS. So anyone who's shorting this breakdown here are chasing this move, right? Thinking we're going to get a gap fill, but there's structure here that they can bid off, which is what I was looking for, right? If we fail this structure here, then market comes for gap fill, but then NQ goes into that rotation of previous day's value, right? So if we think about how that would have affected the market, if we lost that RBS, and we could still lose it, then this trade starts to play out. It's about to take my break even here, isn't it? Don't you dare come under IB. You prick. There goes my break even on the rest of the money. Remember, you're first on, first off. First on, first off. Last on, last off. Flat now again. If we lose this, we go into that, which would be less than ideal. I don't think I'm going to trade that today. If we do that, I think I'll be okay leaving it alone. Mate, another stop taken. Can you believe it? What did we get there? Like 60, 70 points? I can't remember a day in the last week where it's given me full TP without stopping me out. I don't think I can remember it. See money, take money. Yeah, you're right, Flacco. You're absolutely right. Again, still nice and green, still managing my risk correctly. Don't feel like I'm trading this badly. We did say up and towards this area, you need to take something off. I was holding more size than normal, thinking we could try and get up into here, but no bueno. So all you got was that. That's all you got. And sat still again. And sailors piling in down here again now. That's a fail break underneath initial bound. I don't think I'm going to have another go. I feel a little bit exhausted at the moment. You Advent haven't had a full TP all week, and I'm not criticizing. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I don't think I have. Yes, they did the whole move without me because it couldn't get filled. I think you're spot on. I think you are spot on, mate. What coffee machine do I use? No, there's no espresso here. This is just a what do you call it? A filter one. I have it timed for like when I wake up in the morning. There's honestly, I've been living as if I don't permanently live in America for 6 years, because always thinking we're going to leave, we're going to leave, we're going to leave. When we get to Austin, everything changes. I'm going to start treating myself. There will be nice coffee machines. There will be nice sports car for me. I might buy another motorbike for myself. Maybe I'll ship my Triumph out here instead. It would be a lifestyle upgrade, because I've just come to terms with I'm not moving back to London. Hence me selling my house in London, right? When you're an expat, anyone that's an expat will understand that feeling. You never really feel settled. Nothing ever really feels like home. You have to make the choice of like, settle, start investing, stop buying shit furniture and shit cars thinking you're going to leave every 6 months. Just invest. What do I think about getting a C6 ZR1 Corvette? Corvettes aren't for me. I appreciate when I first moved here, I actually really wanted like an American muscle car. But I think they let themselves down with the interior as much as anything else. I hate that steering wheel on the Corvette, and I hate the middle console. It's not. Maybe I'd feel differently. Maybe I'll change, but at the moment, it doesn't do it for me. Am I getting to get a swimming pool? When I buy, if I like Austin, we will buy in Austin. I will buy a house with a swimming pool. But the one I've agreed to rent does not have one. And unfortunately, with the HOAs, I'm not allowed to put a temporary one in. Look, they're fucking holding this now. You absolute assholes. Don't you fucking dare send this now after taking my stop out. They're watching me stream. The market makers are watching me. You're short from 370. That's a good short. You should have covered a ton, though. 370 on that turnaround. That's a really good short. Make sure you've paid yourself, though, because even this drop, you should have hit a lot of TPs here. If you think about this, this is your current week value area low. All right. And towards PDC and your previous day point of control, you should be down to small size now, because that's probably most the move. If you think about where we are on an H1, you're going to struggle to get much more here, I think, unless the market really goes risk off. If we think about this, you're starting to see a reaction here. All right, so here's your value for the week, and this is your big value zone, right? This is where I don't really want to trade in. I want to try and find the bid and hold this. All right, so if you've been short up here, this was our expected move. All right, they sold the expected move. All right, I'm looking for anything like this or like this, and now I have to respect that the move back up, right, can fail up here now, right, because we've got buyers from the beginning of the day trapped. So this trade here becomes viable, and once we get there, this or this becomes viable. They might just start chopping this range, right? They might come up here and fail. I wouldn't be looking for too much more downside on your short. Not for today. If it's a swing short, I will reserve my words, and maybe you want to put your stop in the money, and maybe you're looking for this expected move down here. That's totally different if you're in a swing position. But I'm just talking about for the day. I wouldn't expect too much more pressure. Right? So I don't know whether you're looking for that expansion mode into the next 2 days. That would be different, right? When I say that, I want to reiterate, I'm just talking about intraday moves. You're long the Tyson trade. I mean, it's starting to hold, isn't it? But semis are back into that 115s. They're there. They're just sat there. ES did close its gap as well. Just to make sure we did it on the cash market, and the cash market closed it. And they are back above neutral. So we are in transitional mode here in the spiders. So they got to hold these levels in the spiders. If they start losing these levels in the spiders, you are going to start to go negative gamma on the day. And that regime change under PDC could be a problem. What do I think about Harry and Meghan moving back to London after the scandals? Honestly, couldn't give a crap. I think if you ask most English people, they don't care. I like Harry, but I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Out of bullets, I've probably got another 1 or 2 trades in me. Like, I'm trading well, so I'm not annoyed with myself. But I'm just miffed, right? If it was going to do it, it should have done it, right? If it was going to do it, should have done it. Now, can they still do it here? Yeah, they can. You know, they've done enough damage there that they should be lifting. The fact that we're not, it's like a little alarm bell in my head. Well, why not? Why not? Why aren't we? If we tagged 113 semis and we're back to 115, why aren't they willing to lift through it? Right? If we look at MAG, other than that big wick low, it's continuing to travel lower. VIX did swipe, right, on that move and then got whacked back down under 16s. But like the move on VIX, all right, the low of day on VIX, we've gone from 15.12 to 16.30 in the last, what's the time now? I don't know, 10 minutes? 15 minutes? 11 minutes, sorry. So I'm just staying flat. Like, I'm just waiting. I think I've played well today. Like, I've stuck to what I was looking for today. I was looking for, you know, I would have loved to have been a dip here. Couldn't get this morning. It ripped without me. So joined a bit later. Took a few stops here. Get that move. Took some partials. Stopped out on the runner. Okay. Had a couple goes down here. Stopped out break even. Right. Finally get this one. Get a TP. Stop out. Break even again. That was more than a runner, if I'm honest. That was like trying to hold some decent size in that. Maybe I'll have another go here. I'm just trying to let it build out here because you can see like we've got a big node here now. All right, if buyers keep defending this, it's a good sign. If sellers keep defending this, then we can keep doing this and compress. I'm trying to be patient is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to not force my way into it. I'm not frustrated, but I'm aware. That'd be a better way of putting it. Sebastian, I'm pissed I lost my funded account after passing my eval last week. Oversized yesterday and let my emotions take over, trying to win it all back. It's a common mistake that for newer traders, right? You oversize and then you force your way back into the market. Remember, the market doesn't care about you, me, or anyone else. So it's really important. You're better to be undersized than oversized, right? And this market will provide you opportunities if you can just be patient. Can we get rid of these? There we go. All right, if we base over this, I'll consider it again. But I'm at the moment expecting rotations. But if we start moving over 60s, maybe I'll consider what the market might be capable of doing. We are still in the area that I think the market will want to bid out of. We're just waiting for this to curl. It might be that it needs to do this for a bit, right? We don't know. It might be, can we draw today, TradingView? It might be that it needs to do, you know, a little bit of this for later. It might be that we just do this now. If we do that, I'll try and get a join in. You guys in the Tyson trade look good. You're about to hit it already. Look, there you go. Fail break lower. Runs Alex out. Holds it. Comes to it. I mean, you gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh. I gave it to 200. Can you believe it? It came down to 191. It's going to come right back up towards TP zone. Again, you gotta love trading to want to do this for a career. Unfinished auction here about to get repaired at 61s, and then there is one above at 76s. If we can start getting above this VPOC and holding now, I will be interested. But remember, we're in a big D shape here. Nice, Tyson. You took your own trade. Of course you did, you animal. Of course you did. All right, semi's looking really good. 116s now. Mag's starting to print back up. Does it want to hold dips in this rotation now? Can we get some momentum long here? There's a bit of exhaustion up here. I think we're going to reprint higher here. I think it's about to come. So if we can dip down and hold anywhere in front of 225s, I will have a go long. Or just wait. I'm going to zoom into Bookmap here. Where are you printing? Yep, 225. So you agree with what I'm looking for. Anywhere down there that absorbs, I'll have a go long. So 45, maybe even 50, but 45 to 25 looks good right now if they're willing to hold that. Here they come. It's 45. This down to 25 needs to hold, and I'll have a go long. It's a very tough trade here, but I want to see sellers pile in and get absorbed here. And I want to see them hold 25, these buyers. Zoom in. Come on, Bookmap. Don't need you to have tech issues today as well. No, why have you just zoomed out? What are you doing? Right, there's imbalances here. End of imbalances 23s. So this is the area of interest for me that I think buyers have got to hold. Where we are now, down to 23s, 25, somewhere around that. If they can't hold that, they're going to come value area low. All right, I've bid here a little bit on that hold. And we've got to accelerate away now. And I will not give this room. Got to hold a higher low here and start to go. We need to get back above POC. It's a tough area. I want to see this accelerate away from this to the upside. Bookmap's being a pain here. Come on. We've got to lift, and we've got to lift now. They're going to come for these 25s now, and they're adding liquidity lower now. You wallies. You wallies, just adding lower, out. I'll wait for an imbalance fill and turn around. You wallies, why have they just come on adding lower now? You silly, 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 silly people. I'm at the point where I might be out of bullets here. Not willing to give back my day. So 6s. Where's that seller caught? 196. They're flushing back down now. They keep adding liquidity lower and lower. They were okay holding 25s, and then they've just gone add all the way down to 190 at the moment. They're trying to just get this market to come down to 190 now. They were willing to hold 25s, and as soon as we approached, they just added a ton of liquidity lower, so it's searching for it now. And we're into chop zone. This area now is chop zone. We did say it might need one more of these. Do I give it one more go? If we print back over, maybe one last trade. I will have one more go if I see this or this. Otherwise, nothing. That's my last go if we see that. You got long at 218 down here on IB. Yeah, just be careful because they're not holding where they need to hold. They need to be holding the high low here. And by not doing that, they are offering the market. They are adding liquidity on the book at 200 now, all the way down to 175. All right, so their buyers are just adding liquidity down here, and the market might search for it if they keep doing that. What we want, all right, is them to add liquidity up here to pull these orders and start adding here to try and force this market upside, which they were doing, and then they changed it very, very quickly in that node. Here they come, so they're trying it now. I will need to see a print back over 46s here to interest me. And willing to stay flat until then. I want to buy your order flow course if you would only include Discord. We can't do that, mate. I'm really sorry, because reading order flow is not a strategy. It's a way of understanding the market, right? If you don't understand the strategies that we're playing and you come into the Discord, you'll be trading the other way to everyone else, right? So it's the only reason. We've thought about it. We've talked about it a lot, but it just doesn't make sense to do that right now, unfortunately. Unless I develop a new course where, you know, we talk about strategies in order flow, but we just can't. It's a supplementary add-on right now. Positive gamma, yeah, down here, mate. It doesn't flip until we get down here. So the flip zone really is 205 down to 29.85. All right, so this is kind of like more neutral if we think about this as a zone. All right, and then neg gamma underneath. We haven't got many levels to trade down to. That's your low expected move of the day, right down there. We don't really at the moment, unless they put some new levels on. Let me have a little look. There ain't much in. 85s. Let me copy this just in case this needs updating. Give me a second. There we go. That's the update. It's kind of boring here, man. More selling into initial balance here. All I'd say is if they don't protect IB, then you have to question, do they come to target those big buyers at 170 and 164? Do they come and test those buyers? All the time they're protecting initial balance and value area low, I'd say basically 200 and just under 198. They have the chance to rotate this D shape. If they start losing 198, then we're actually quite thin on that wick down to 170 and 164. If we actually look at the outlying delta there, 170. There's an 800 lot delta at 185 buy side, right? So under him, he gets stuck. I can't see anyone at 170, so we're printing that differently. Where's the other one? I thought it was 164. 150, just see it. Where have you gone? And a 600 lot at 150. So I'm going to follow CME data. So 185 and 160 are the levels right now, even though everything else sees it slightly differently. That's weird. See, I have it at 198, 169, and 164 on NinjaTrader. Bookmap. I'm going to try and trust Bookmap here. I think it probably is slightly more accurate. And 185 looks to be the level here. Yeah. 812 positive delta there. So under 185, you're going to have an 800 lot stuck. I'm not sure there's anything I can do with this right now as we chop this node. Absorption down there again. They're still adding liquidity lower here. There is no one at the moment willing to step up and push this market higher. There's no one. No one's willing to do it yet. I'll show you on Bookmap what I'm watching. Where is it? This guy here, if you look on the right-hand side, 185. See this? This 800 lot. He's going to become important if we come down there. So that must be on that wash. I don't fucking see him though. I don't understand that. I don't understand that delta where it's got that read from. It's got to be on that news candle. We'll see if we'll see what happens at 185. I actually can't see him on the tape from earlier, but volume profile delta can see him, so we'll see. Kind of weird. Normally, if I'd seen that, I'd expect to see a fucking giant green bubble here, and I cannot see it. So I'm not really sure on that read, but it did happen very quick on that news, and maybe it's just struggling to display it properly, but I'm going to have to trust in the delta. Gonna trust it. You don't have that on Sierra either. Really? Yeah, it's weird. I don't have it on NinjaTrader, so I'm not sure why I've got it on Bookmap. But we're trying to test him now, so we're going to find out, right? We're about to find out if that level's real or not. I have it very thin. I don't know if you've got the same on Sierra. I have it very, very thin from 198 all the way down to 169. 169 is where the first big buy came in, and then at 164, and then thin again underneath that. Right, so I have it thin. Let's try and move this up. I have it thin between these. So under here, I have it very thin down to these buyers. But if we react to 85, then maybe that data is good on Bookmap. We'll see. You have 100. You have an 800 lot at 188 on ATAS. This is what I don't get. We all pay for CME data. It's a centralized exchange. Why are we getting different prints? Someone explain that to me. You have it at 169. Yeah, see, we're all getting different prints. That shouldn't be a thing. How are we? That should not be a thing. How are we supposed to survive as retail if we can't get fucking true data from CME? Someone go and write to them. Mag looks like it wants to close its gap. Semi's still just stuck at 115. We're just not moving in semiconductor land. We're just stuck at these 115s. That's your 115 zone. In towards value area low again. And for me, we're very thin down here. And I don't know which date is correct here, folks. I'm really sorry. I wish I did. I have no idea which date is correct here because I'm getting different reads off everything. It is centralized. Like CME is absolutely centralized. So it's got to do with the processing of it somehow. If it wasn't centralized, all right, if it wasn't a single exchange, then we'd have all the different listings, wouldn't we? Like New York Stock Exchange and AMAX and everything else, like you would if you were trading stocks. Right, they've held initial balance and previous day value area high and current value area low there again. So that's a cheap long down there again holding. It's quite hard to pull the trigger down there not knowing the levels. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm finding it hard to think about pulling the trigger not knowing the levels. The wick is the problem. Yeah, totally. I understand that it's that is in that wick, but we should get correct data. I should not be looking at NinjaTrader and Bookmap and talking to you guys trading ATAS and Sierra, and we're all having different reads of where those orders are. That's the problem. Because how can we play against someone that's in the money or out the money if they're trapped or in the money if we don't actually know where they are, right? What do I think of the odds of getting below 130 today? Below 130? Mate, I don't know. Like if it's going to travel lower, it's going to try and fill this in. I would have said no until we put this wick in. Now I wonder. You've got 687 at 167 on ATAS. 167. Yeah, so I've got 169s and I've got 164s on NinjaTrader. And then I've got 812 at 185 on Bookmap. It's quite a big difference, both in size and where it is. So just sat waiting here. I was interested in longs, but I'm becoming less and less interested in longs as they look more and more like they're going to wash this down at the moment. And they are trying to absorb down here. It's so hard for me to pull the trigger, like I said. I don't know where to risk against right now because I don't know where those players are. No, there's nothing to do with rhythmic or CQG, guys. It's that data all gets pulled from the same place, all right? And actually on Bookmap, you pay for it direct from CME. I don't have this link to anything. This is direct from CME. They're still protecting this kind of IB and value area. It's still being protected for now. This is compression down here. Look at Delta starting to peak out here. Nothing's really happening here. We're not seeing increased sell pressure for the snap yet. If I knew where they were, I'd probably be bidding down here, honestly. It's the same area as before, but I don't know where they are. Maybe we have one go. If we come back in and I can see them start to hold here. Where have they last held? 210s. How big are you? 200. A few hundred lots down at 200. Where's that unfinished auction? 206s. 198s. Semi stuck at 115 still. I'm still interested. Honestly, if I knew what had happened in here, I'd be interested in this trade if I just knew where they were. It's the same one we took earlier, right? It's the same trade, and then it's this. I just feel like I'm trading blind right now. That's how I feel. I'm just being real honest with you and leveling with you guys. I feel like I'm trading blind by not knowing what's gone on down there. Oh, nice. Thanks for doing that. Well, let's see what they say. Hopefully we get an answer from the CME. I doubt we do, though. What do you reckon they're going to say? Oh, it's your fault. How are the likes? I don't know. I've not looked. Should we have a look? How are we doing on the likes, folks? Did we get up to 1,500? Remember, if we get 1,500 today, we're either going to give away a Lucid account or a My Funded Futures account. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide which. We're at 1,000, so we're 500 likes away. Looks like we're just going to have an inside bar today by the looks of it. Just want to check on the daily. One sec, team. Just have a look. Still got that open. Yawn. Yeah, it is a bit of a yawn, mate. I mean, look, we did say, even the newsletter, I said, look, I expect Monday, Tuesday to be choppy this week. We are in a holding pattern, right? If we think about what we've got coming, Canada puts 15 to 50% tariffs on about $20 billion of US products. Canada doubles tariffs on US steel. Anyway, tomorrow we have PCE, and then we've got Nvidia after the close, and then Thursday we've got jobless claims. That's where I think the move's coming. Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be holding pattern until we get through Nvidia. I really do think that. We expected it. It's and we have come into some key levels. If you think about what we said in the weekly newsletter as well, if I can dig that out somewhere, where is it? We are just trading between those levels here, so let me find it. Where are you? Okay, so buyers need to defend 29,300. And if they can't defend it, they need to let it drop and then reclaim it quickly. That's effectively what we're looking for today. All right. They need to defend this level here. They failed to defend it this morning. All right. And if they can't defend it, they need to reclaim it quickly for that move up. If they can defend it and they get that move up, then you're looking for 400, 570, 680s. All right. And then over 29H, you're looking for 870, 30,000, 30,080, and then 30,000, 280 to 285. I'm not saying it gets there this week, is a big call wall, which is continuing to develop for this month. All right. So it's really simple. Defend 300, reclaim 400. Where's my mouse gone? Get acceptance over 570 and look for 680 and higher. For bears, right, they're looking to maintain control and weakness. So they want to defend the edges, 29,575. Any push through 29,670 or higher, then they're looking for a close back under 575 and a rotation back under 280s, which is what we have today. All right, so bears are look. This is the big over under for the week. If you read the newsletter, basically. All right, loss of 200 opens the door to 29.50. Well, this is what we did yesterday already. We lost 200. Loss of 200 opens the door to 29,050. Okay, there you go. Right, and we actually came deeper. Under that, we're looking for 850, 700. That's that zone. Right, so that's where we're in this week. We're already doing a lot of these moves. We're now in the battleground. The battleground is here. Right, this is over this. Buyers can look for pressure. Under this, sellers are trying to protect. This is our over under. All right, and you can see it from here to here. Basically from here to here, we lose that. Here to here, we lose that. Here to here, recover that. Here to here, recover that. Here to here. That's basically what the newsletter's telling you. So we're doing exactly what we expect. It's just about, can we manage our risk? Right, I need to focus up here, don't I? Sorry, team. We're just rotating this huge node again. When is red news on Friday, boys? When do you get Friday red news? Or I'm not sure what your question there. Jobless claims, you mean? 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Is that what you're asking? That's Thursday. Friday is Chicago PMI. I doubt that's red, 9:45. And then Michigan consumer sentiment, 10 o'clock. The bigger one is going to be Jackson Hole, right? Thursday, Friday. But I think Walsh speaks on Friday. You might get comments before that. What time can you trade? What do you mean? You can trade whenever you want. What do you mean based on your prop firm? I don't know. You'll have to check. Each prop firm's different. Some allow news, some don't. Some allow it 1 minute after news, some don't. Whose hole? Jackson's hole. They're starting to hold here in this node. Like I said, there's probably some half decent cheap trades down here. You're starting to see compression. You're starting to produce higher lows. There are still lower highs. Like I said, if I could see what had happened down here and trusted the data, I would probably be looking for cheap longs at previous day value area high. This was our idea to bid this morning. I still think this is available today. So maybe if we hold a bid here, I'll consider it. Well, we're in one of these right now. You got to love that data. If I had data there, I'd be bidding on that. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. That was the plan all day. They just fucked us, not giving us data down there correctly. It's not my fault. Fucking CME, mate. Right, if we hold a bid here, maybe I'll look for pullbacks like earlier. They're coming up for these unfinished auctions, 55s to 61s. This is, if you took the Tyson trade, this is fantastic. Brett, kudos to you. This is the move, right? Back to VWAP. Same as we played earlier. Look, this is exactly the same play. It's just the difference is I didn't know where the risk was this time round. Once I realized they were all different. I think you'll complete this auction. 60s, 61s, and then you're looking for 280s here. I will look for dips here if they're going to hold. How do I see an unfinished auction? I have it on my Spectra. These white lines, see these white lines here? These are unfinished auctions, right? So normally we try and repair those. There's one up here as well. All the way up here if they want to come for it today. This is still looking very much like the pre-market plan. It's very much looking like this. But the difference is now, if you are in this long, you have to respect where we broke down from. Okay, you must respect these pivots here. So if you are long down here, TP1, TP2, runners, right? Whereas earlier, if we hadn't broken out earlier and we'd just come down here, this move up here is much easier, right? But now we have buyers stuck up there. So we're going to respect them on the way up, right? Have I exhausted myself out of getting long in here today? No, you haven't, Alex. You're gonna have a go. You're gonna have a go if it allows you. All right, mate. You're gonna have a go at it. This is what you've been waiting for all day. All right, so you've just completed those auctions that I just showed you. You've just completed them all. So you should be TPing into here. And now you want to see all pullbacks hold 46s. And then you're going to look for a move into 280s. And then 315s and then 335s. All right, that's the move. If sellers have their way here, they will rotate you all the way down. So anyone that's long down there, you should be TPing out here. And then you need to see it hold 46s now. Now we'll try and get long here now. Yes, into VWAP as well. Semi's looking much better here. They're at 116s. They're into New York VWAP as well. So we either need to see them break through that or pull back and hold. Alex talking to the devil on his shoulder. He absolutely is. He absolutely is. All right. Let's see if we pull back and hold here now. Do you want to diddle in the middle, Alex, though? Hey, do you want to diddle in the middle? Let's see if they can trap. If they trap, I'll diddle in the middle. If they don't, I won't. Tough trade here. Rotation again from top side. Straight back down. Okay, they're just going to rotate. No trade for me then. They're just going to rotate this fucking massive node that they're developing here. Chop city, bitch. Chop, chop city, bitch. Ain't no follow through today, folks. Ain't nada. Big seller at that low that just came in at 30s. Big seller at that low. Now they've left they left an unfinished auction up at 56s. They also left one down at 06s. There's a big seller at that low. All right, I'm bidding on him. Let's see if they can come fill me. I'm bidding 30s right now. Risking 25s. See if they come and fill me. See, the reason I'm not going to risk more than 25s is if we drop 25s, I think we come to 200s very quickly. So I'm basically risking 5 points here. Here we come. Can you fill me? There we go. Filled. Let's see. The reason I'm playing that is there's a trap seller there. All right. So I filled on that trap seller. I'm trying to use his pain, and I just want this to go upside. In fact, I'm very tempted to move my stop break even straight away here, because if this goes, it should go. Yeah, I'm moving my stop straight break even there. So it filled into 30s, into that trap player, and I want this to accelerate top side. My stop's break even. So no loss here if I do get washed out. No big deal. I'm going to have to get through these 50s and LVN up here. Can't get stuck. You can see the big seller on the tape here, even for you guys. All right, that's the big seller. Once we came back down into him, I bid on him. I was risking down here. I'm now gone break even because I'm not willing to trade under him at 30s. Because if we're going to hold him, we've already done it. And I'm looking for this move here now. So you're already 20 points up here if you took that, if you want to scalp. If you want to be in see money, take money mode, I don't blame you. Honestly, I don't blame you. I'm trying. I'm desperately trying, because my journals are telling me, try and hold for the moves, Alex. Try and hold the moves. Right, here we go. Can we repair this auction of 56s and then break out of this blue box and get going? Right, so we're starting. Do you remember I said we might need to do this for a bit? This is what I want to see. All right, I need to see us over this now, and ideally over this. I should move this in, shouldn't I? This is where we just got long, right? And we had 5 points stop, right? A very tight stop. And my stop's now break even on this. Okay, it's at 30s. Come on, baby. Get through 55s and 56s and lift it. Come on, baby. I don't want to know. I'm telling you now, guys, if I take another break even, I'm done for the day. All right. If I take a break even, I'm done for the day. Here we go. Through the 56s. Let's see if we can get going now. Third time's a charm. All right. So my first TP I'm looking for is up here, 77s. And then I'm going to look for, try and get up into this. Just like I did earlier, I'm going to try and get up here on the runners. Just like this one earlier where I took a TP and I tried to get the runners. All right. We're going to take a TP anywhere from 67s to 84s. You can TP some out. I'm looking to see if we can get above it. All right. I'm being very honest with you. This is how I'm trading it. If it goes, it goes. But all we're using is that trap seller. This is why I felt uncomfortable at the lows, because I didn't know where the trap seller was, because it was giving me incorrect data. But here, I could very, very clearly see that trap seller. It was an 183 lot that got trapped at 130s. So when we dipped back in and held him, he remained trapped, right? So we had tight risk. Beautiful. Fantastic. Here we go, guys. Into some TP areas here, and now I'm going to hold for expansion if we can get through 80s. Not bad, eh? We're going, finally. Jesus in Christ. Imagine what we could have done at the lows if it gave us proper data, eh? Imagine what we could have done. We would have been long from down here if we had proper data. We'd be up 100 points right now. All right, seller at these highs. I want him to be punished. So I've TP'd some out here, because we know this is value area low from previous week. If we get back inside this, it would be a failed auction of weekly value. We have delta divergence up here. You must TP something out here, okay? Please, folks, please. All right. I am moving my stop up. Don't fuck this up, Alex. All right, I'm going to protect 43s here. I'm going to get a refill. I'm going to have a P, and hopefully we can fill me all the way up at 320s while I'm away. All right, folks, I'll be right back. Oh, haven't even moved. Okay. Right. How are we doing on the likes, folks? At the moment, we only have enough for an Apex giveaway. There's over 1,000 of you here who've not hit the thumbs up button. Guys, 1,500 likes, please. Once we get to 1,500 likes, I'm going to put it to you guys. We'll do a vote and we decide, or maybe whoever wins will decide whether they want a My Funded Futures Rapid account or they want a Lucid account. All right, so just get the likes up. It's so easy. Just hit the thumbs up. Remember, you should be TP1 in here. All right, this is value area low and VWAP. If we get through here, we are going to get this expansion move. Maybe we'll take some off in towards 300s, but ideally up here. All right, but you have to be TP1 here. You have to lock something in here. Absolutely have to. It's not an if, but maybe. You need to be doing it. You need to be doing it. We're in a choppy market right now. And if we think about the H1, it is doing actually what we wanted. All right, it came pretty deep. I just moved this up. Think about what we wanted this morning. We wanted to pull back into here. All right, it came deeper into here. Fine, it reclaimed this. Like, this is nice. All right, we have to lock some into these areas, right? Because we now have buyers from this morning stuck. So we're going to respect them. We know that they're going to probably want to get out break even. So we're going to sell on pushes up into that. Now, if we get very lucky, we're going to get this move today. I actually don't expect it today anymore, given that these guys are not very comfortable. All right, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of them up there stuck. So as we trade into this level here, which is also this key level here, all right, we're going to sell on pushes. So we've already TP'd one. If we get lucky, we get a move up there and we sell the rest. We just got to play what's in front of us. We can't hold too long in this market. It doesn't want to go too far until Wednesday, Thursday, I don't think. You had your TP at 280. Great. Nice work, mate. Very nice work. Is he? Nice work, mate. Here we go. So I'm looking for the expansion now, and I'm trying to get up towards 320, 330. So here's the move over 280. Here we go! Let's go! Frank the tank! Frank the tank! All right. If you didn't guess, I filled some in that move up towards 300. I said I will respect 300. And I've got a teeny bit left now. And I tell you what, if we come under 58s, I will cut that rest. That was beautiful. Now, why did that happen? We just went over it. Why did we reject there? Guess where the buyers were stuck this morning. Okay. This guy, these guys here, right? That was right up towards our final target. Just missed that final one, but we got 300s. I'm done now. This is going to come under 58, so I can feel it. I can feel it's going to come under 58s here because it's an unfinished auction at 41s. I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance. I'll move to 58 hard stop. I'll give that final one a chance. But beautiful. Am I planning to long again? No. No. Not for me. No. I filled some there. Let's go! Go! Give me that last one. Give me fucking one to go. Just once this week. Can you hit my final TP? Give me one this week. Give me fucking 330s. In fact, do I get greedy and move to 400 on the runner? It's tempting. Where's point of control? 324s. No, I can't be greedy. 324s is it. All right. Remember we just went over this on the H1? This. All right. We need to respect these guys. We're long for this move. If you are willing and able to, if you've dip bought down here and you're willing to wait for that, you can. I can't because I'm going to get upset with myself if I get stopped out and give that much back. Maybe I can do a trail instead. Maybe I'll see how we approach 320, 330, and I'll do a trailing stop. Be satisfied with my plan and let it play out. Well, that's kind of why I'm saying, shall I wait for this? Because that was originally the plan, right? Think about this. Think about what I wrote. If deeper, then we watch previous day point of control. If they're unable to bid back above previous day value area, then we start the rotation. That would be the rotation, right? But we're looking for point of control, reclaim a value, and then move to purple box. All right, so that's what I'm saying. Should I be greedy, i.e. stick to plan, right? And try and get, remember, point of control. There's point of control. We've held it. We've reclaimed value. We've held it. We've hit TP1s. We've hit TP2. Should I try and hold for this? Right, because that was the original plan. The only thing is I must respect these guys, so I don't think I'm going to do it. I might try and trail it just in case if we can start breaking back above 300. And do you know what? I'm going to move my stop. I'm going to move up and protect a little bit more. I'm going to protect 64s here. I save myself 10 more points. If today showed you anything, it should show you the importance of risk management. If it showed you anything, it should show you the importance of risk management. I think we had a long in here as well. All right, but today it did not happen first time every time. All right, so like there were a few stops in here. There were some stops in here. But if you protect your risk appropriately, remember, the only thing we can control is our entry, our risk, and our exit. That includes sizing. So if you controlled your risk, right, thesis was correct. If you oversized down here and you didn't control your risk, like for example, I stopped out here at 20 because I was like, this has now failed. If I didn't have a hard stop in there, if I didn't stop out, then, you know, I would have got absolutely murdered, wouldn't I? And that's the importance of having hard stops. I preach it to you every single day before I leave every day. I say to you, use hard stops. They are lifesavers. Hard stops save lives. Which point of control am I seeing? Is that please tell me that's not still. Oh my god, it's wrong. Oh my god, you are correct. That's wrong. I don't know why that got extended. You're right. There isn't one up there. They just changed it. I had it on the wrong setting. Well, the only one would be up here. All the way up there. For some reason, I had it extended and it was floating down here. So if you go from last week to this week, the most traded price from last Sunday to this Sunday is 335. That's what it is. Right, but I take it extended off and it shifts. All right, I'm about to stop out here. If we trade under VWAP, I'm done. There's only 20 minutes left. And in a day where I haven't fought the market, but it's been tough. It's been tough to get follow through. I want to be respectful. Hard stop, 65s. 65s on the dot. On the dot. Right in the middle of flow zones, right under the VWAP, giving it a couple ticks in case it comes under VWAP. Have I tried affordable trade copiers? It is pretty solid for Ninja and Tradeify users, in my opinion. Also, like that, it's a one-time fee. It's exactly what I use, my friend. Yes, code FZT with affordable indicators will get you some money off. We literally come and tapped one tick away from my stop there. Let's hope it protects it. 65 on the nose, am at. Come on. It still hasn't taken me. I'm on the nose. It's going to swipe me. I can feel it. There. Gone. Out. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. All right. So the best I got out of that was this swipe into this node. That's me done. Finished for the day, folks. I'm not going to sit here and trade anymore. Not in the morning session. Not in the morning session. Give it a chance. What's it called for a one-time fee? I'll just post it for you. It's Affordable Indicators Trade Copier. I'll post it for you. I'll post it with the discount link. And I would say they often have sales, all right? If you wait for the sales, if you can't wait for sales, you can't, but often they have 40% sales and stuff, all right? Not most profitable, but best trading day I've seen in my short time here. I stayed calm, I stayed consistent, I stuck to the plan. Thanks for what you do. Mate, then that sounds like a fantastic trading day, because profits, remember, this is where people get really confused. Profits have nothing to do with how well we've executed a trade. We can only... Did they rip this back up? That's why I'm laughing. We can only trade the market and the market environment in front of us. We can't control, all right? We can't control because we're not big enough to control. We can't control whether this market comes up here. We can plan and position for it and take profits on the way. And if it goes and you have your best day ever, great. But you should judge your trading day exactly how you've just written in chat. Exactly that. If you've been calm, if you've managed your risk, if you've only executed valid trades, if you've stopped out appropriately, and if you've taken profit at key levels where you should, then you've traded very, very well. You can't ask yourself to do more than that. That includes taking losing trades. That's a big part of my course. I consistently say, if you take a losing trade and it is a good stop, somehow you need to reward yourself for doing that, right? Somehow you need to actively feed your dopamine here and make it understand that is good trading. That's good trading. Taking that stop, that's good trading. Because if you don't do that, and every time you take a stop, you're like, oh, I'm so annoyed. Fuck's sake, why have I taken a stop? You're going to repress that. And the next time you should take that stop, you're not going to take it. You're not. Because you're convinced your brain that stopping out is a bad idea. And you're going to do something stupid, like you're going to move your stop. Or even worse, you're going to add more risk on into a loser, right? So you have to be comfortable taking stops. And I tell you, the easiest thing about taking stops, once you start getting in the habit of taking stops, all right, once you stop oversizing and you start getting in the habit of taking stops, it gets real easy. Like you'll see me, like I take them. I don't care. It gets real easy. Where it gets hard is when you take like 5, 6, 7 in a row. Maybe that's one day, maybe that's 2 days, maybe that's 1 week, right? That's where it gets hard. You start to get frustrated. I call that cumulative delta in terms of like tilt, right? Cumulative tilt. You have it for one session, you have it the next session, you have it the multiple days, then it's hard to manage. I just nailed 90% of chat verbatim, but it's not. It's just everyone, right? It's everyone. And I can remember when I was trading small caps, and I started off trading stops, hard stops at key levels, and then I'll tell you exactly what happened. I can literally remember exactly what happened. All right. So when I was trading small caps, I was trading mean reversions. So let's just say that there was nothing up here, okay, and this was a small cap, right? Let's say that this was a key level on a small cap, and we traded up here. I would get short here, all right, and I'd have my stop above it, right? And we travel down, and I wouldn't take my profits because I'm thinking it's a small cap. I'm looking for a rollover all day. This is like 2019 era, all right? And I'd get run out here, right? And I wouldn't get back in. All right, I wouldn't get back in. I wouldn't understand. I wasn't at a time in my career. I wasn't good enough to understand. Right. Well, all that's doing is encouraging breakout bulls to come back in, running the stops out like you, and there's a new short opportunity here. I didn't understand that back in the day. So what ended up happening, right? Because I would punish myself for taking that stop. What ended up happening is I wouldn't put that stop in, and then this would happen. and I'd add short. And then this would be the black swan day. And it would do this. And Alex would add and add and add. And he'd either blow up or he'd get very fucking lucky and it would dump and he'd get out for a small profit, right? And that is the worst habit you can do. The best habit you can have is reward yourself for taking that stop and then understand that you can get back in. And it wasn't until, I said this yesterday, I think, it wasn't until Nate at Investors Underground really started drilling that of like, you can, and that wasn't at me, it was at everyone. You can always get back in the market. Always. I must have taken 4 stops down here today, I would imagine. Must have taken 4. Eventually, it went. Can always get back in. Always, always, always. It's really important to understand that. You can always get back in the market. Right? Okie dokie. How are we doing here, guys? Are we still lacking on the likes? Come on, folks. We're 200 likes away. You guys can do it. Just hit the thumbs up, please. Master Locky, I got stopped out at the low of day and then I made it back on the next 2. Small loss yet again on the day. I should have made good. Hey, but look, if you ate your stop and you got back in, not so bad, eh? Don't try and make it back today. Just come back tomorrow. All right. I find the hardest part at first is the fear of missing out on a big move, but after a few months you realize that there are opportunities every day. Yeah, there's constant opportunities. Constant opportunities. My problem is making the risk too small. As in your stop loss, you're size down and give bigger stops. All right. If you're starting, you can size down and give bigger stops. Like here, I was able to have a very small stop. Why? It was because I was leaning on that player. All right. So like, why was that stop so small? It was because, remember we entered at 30s, right? Because I understood this guy was fucked. All right. We had an 183 lot stuck seller at 30s. We had an imbalance there. So I was entering on this entry into here, risking the low of this candle. Remember I said I'd risk 25s. All right. It's a 5-point stop. It's not often I'm able to get a stop that tight. It's only because I'm playing this guy being stuck. All right. Unless you're very good at reading order flow and you can see stuff like this, you're better off playing on swing points. So for example, you know, if you are trading this long, you can risk this, right? That's your set risk. Whatever that is has to be your set risk. You cannot not have a stop in there, because what people don't understand is, and I would almost have my risk just above that rather than below that. The reason being is if this does break down, we are so thin here, right? Once this breaks this stop, that's likely to come down there. And that's what was concerning for me. Why I wouldn't bid down here today is because there was no read between Bookmap and any other footprint which was telling us where those players were. They were all wrong, right? They were all wrong. Otherwise, I would have bid down there, because that was the area I wanted to be a buyer on. But I waited for us to move away from it so I could get a new level to see where someone was stuck. Yeah? Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see what you guys are saying. J1N. I didn't stop out appropriately. I let a 50+ point winning trade play on that 420 touch turn into a huge loser on that reversion. That would be the last time I'm making that mistake. Well, first of all, kudos to you for admitting it. I think that's the first sign of a trader improving, because the easiest thing to do is be like, oh, it's the market's fault and it's market maker's fault and this happened. Kudos to you for admitting it. Second of all, it's great to see that you've learned from it. Third of all, you're making a positive decision to never let it happen again. So that's fantastic, mate. I'm sorry that happened, but like you said, you'll never let it happen again, and that's an important part of your learning curve. Summer trading months suck. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. We're low volume, low volatility, and we're in a like I said, we're in a midterm year. It's even worse. Mashmo, placing stops better, but today was not my day. That's part of trading, my friend. You cannot kick yourself for that. That's just part of trading. Alex, how do you handle the commission on contracts? I find they add up and cause me fear of hitting stops, racking up my commissions. I don't even think about the commissions because they're so low. Maybe that's because I've come from somewhere which is very expensive. As someone who is a short seller in small cap world, if any of you have done that, you would know that the borrows at times are astronomical. I couldn't give a monkeys about a 50-cent or $1 commission. This does not affect me at all. I used to start my day sometimes being $1,000 down on borrows, right? And that is a commission problem. This, not a commission problem. So I wouldn't even think about it. Don't even pay attention to it. It's only going to be a problem if you're in and out and in and out and in and out and you're over trading. Otherwise, it shouldn't be a problem. Secure the TP says, I'm done. I'm down 200 for the day. I'm going to the gym. Tomorrow's a new day. Exactly. Good trading, mate. If you've managed your risk correctly, well done. Affordable Indicators has a 40% sale right now on their trade copy. There you go. Murph telling you all. So I did post the link earlier, but I think if you use code FZT, it should give you 40% off. Where did I post that link? I posted it somewhere. Can I post it again for you? No. Let's find it for you again. Yeah, so there's a 40% sale with this if you want that trade copy. Europe on vacation? Everyone's on vacation, man. Summer. I took 4 trades. I'm up 3K. Nice work. We hit the likes. Did we really? Are we at 1.5? Almost. We're at 1.4. We're very close. You're almost there. Nothing was better than the May market. It called 3 times 100-point plays for 3 weeks straight. Yeah, there was a lot of volatility in that area. It will come again. Normally my best trading months are October, November. Those are normally my best trading months. So if the market lines up for us, we can have some good plays. Look at this. We're still holding a high low down here. We're starting to reclaim again. I'm done for the day though. I've had my goes today. US no vacation. Is that true? Do you guys take vacations? Surely you take vacations. Well, I know half of the country doesn't have the passport, but I don't think those are the people that are actively trading. Sorry, I just slammed the mic there. Right, Semi's still just glued to that 115, but they are very much looking the same as we are right now. We're kind of looking identical to the semiconductors here. If we think about today, all right, they failed the push. They came back down. They flushed 115s. They held 113s. They've reclaimed. They've pushed to where everyone got stuck this morning. They've pulled back from, and we're at 115s again. All right, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. I think we've traded about as well as we could today, honestly. There was a two-sided trade today. There was the trade up. If you guys were willing to play the expected move trade down, that was there. I was just waiting for this bid back out of here. That's what I was focused on today. It was my main focus for the day. What's my email? info@flowzonetrader.com. We are almost there, folks. We just need a few more thumbs up on the stream, and then we can do the giveaway. What's my bias for New York? Well, at the moment, like I said, we're stuck, right? We have to respect. Buyers are trapped down here right now. This is where we are. And sellers are trapped down here right now. All right. And we are just ping-ponging between them. All right. It's why we wanted to be a buyer here today to try and get back up to here. If we get through that, maybe this becomes viable. All right. If we can't get back through there, I think we just ping pong, and it would just be another inside day. If we think about the daily right now, Are we doing that much damage? All right, think about the daily, take you to a daily chart here. All right, it's an inside bar, yeah. Remember, we don't want to be a buyer too close to the 2026 point of control. That's your ultimate chop zone, right? It's also your 50-day. You can see we're converging here. 20-day, 50-day, 5-day, POC, yeah. I would imagine, let's just do some anchored view ups. I just want to remind myself, fresh from stream, where these all are. Let's go from all-time high, right? Anchored view up, all-time high. Let's go from the pivot low, one here, right? And let's go from this pivot low, right? We condensed, all right? So we're underneath all-time high, which makes sense. We are underneath from pivot low in July, but we are above pivot low from April. Right, everything is compact in here, and it's going to remain compact until there's a major shift away from it. Probably not till next month, like I said, until the volume comes back and we get some sort of new macro environment. This is where we're at. We don't expect too much. Nvidia earnings tomorrow. Yes, indeed, my friend. They are. Alex, can you compare NQ and ES for a trader who is not advanced like yourself? What I can. I just want to understand what you mean by compare. Compare how they move? Compare what's inside of them? Compare the price action today? If you clarify that for me, I will give you the answers. That's a good hold again down here. All I would say is remember, this is really the acceptance area for previous week. We're still underneath previous week. So at the moment, the market's saying, look, there's still potential to expand lower on a weekly. But if we get inside of this, the market's saying, hey, we're not moving daily value lower, and we're not willing to move weekly value lower, which means this is a failed auction and this can happen. That was my main idea for today, but not until you're above this weekly level. Does contract changing affect the daily time frame? If you don't have it on continuous, yes, because you will have a gap for sure, which is one of the reasons if you are new to trading and you don't know how to view those daily timeframes when we roll over, it is best to look at the ETFs. They will give you a good understanding of where we are. Do I give more weight to imbalances or more to unfinished auctions? They're two different things, right? If I'm looking for pullbacks, I'm looking for imbalances to hold. If I'm looking for targets and explosive moves, I'm looking to target the unfinished auctions. How they move in terms of volatility and ease of trading. Okay, for ES and NQ. NQ is a more volatile market, all right? There is much more volatility in the NQ. Why? Well, first of all, you've only got 100 stocks in the NQ. Believe it or not, you'd watch watch TikTok and you'd be led to believe by people in shopping malls that there's 30 million stocks or something in the NQ. All right, you've got 100 stocks. Those stocks are tech stocks. Those specific stocks are highly volatile stocks, okay? Which means the volatility in your ATR range of NQ is bigger, which is why NQ is often what I call a liquidity whore, right? Go searching for it. ES, funnily enough, the clues in the name S&P 500, there are 500 stocks. The weighting on ES is not as heavily weighted into the Mag 7 and tech, right? So you have a broader spectrum. We go through this a lot, don't we? We have a broader spectrum in here. This is what, right? This is your broad spectrum. Can we move this across? Right, this is everything. Now, these healthcares, energies, financials, etc., are not in the queues, right? We are very concentrated over on this left-hand side in the queues and these, right? Very, very concentrated. ES, we are looking at all of this, right? So this is why the volatility is less in ES, because think about it. If we are bid up in tech, all right, but we are selling down in defensive and energy and healthcare, then we're matching the weight. If we go through this a lot, I've tried to really drill this into you recently because this market is very rotational. If we think about, this is the pie chart of ES, right? We have all the different sectors, don't we? Right? Defensive, energy, healthcare, financial, Mag 7, semiconductors, software. You get the idea. Lots and lots and lots. All right. In Qs, we've got really software. At the moment, it feels like the weighting, even though it's not. It feels like the weighting is like this, doesn't it? Feels like all of that, all right, is SOX. It isn't, but it feels like it, right? So we're paying attention to it. SOX or SMH, whatever you want to use. Mag 7, which traditionally is around 60%, and then we've got some smaller ones in there, which is why I stay pretty heavily focused, right, on these three, right? Because this is where most of the money's going at the moment. It's going in software, which has been relative weakness until the last month or two. It's going into semiconductors, which is the highly volatile market right now, right? And it's going in Mag 7, all right? And we're rotating these three. So as a day trade, I really like NQ, all right? Because it provides countless opportunities if you understand that. As a swing trade, for me personally, I feel like ES is an easier swing trade, especially if you are trying to position long, right? If you are bull long term, right, you have lost less volatility, because naturally, if you think about the guys in the market who are there to make money, if they are going to get out of semiconductors, they're going to need to make their money somewhere for their clients. So they're going to rotate into where? Healthcare, for example. So if we think about where we've been positioned long in Discord this year, move this to a daily for the last few months, all right? There's your financials. Right, now, if I did a comparison here, let's do a new comparison here. Make this make sense to you. No, what do I want? All right, so if we did mags, we're going to have to do this split screen on so you can see it. How do we do that? All right, if this was mags, and let's add on, let's do XLF. That's financials. We're going to do this on a daily. And let's do my brain's not working. Let's do XLV. Okay. And now let's do semis. Did it do it? No. Yeah, there we go. I've just done mags again, have I? Get rid of you. Add that again. SOX. There we go. All right, and we're just going to focus on this drive down. All right. This is the peak high of semiconductors in June. After that, when we had the big pullback on NQ, right, where did it come from? Weakness in semiconductors, right? Failed to make a new high, broke down, all right? What happened to the rest of the market then? Well, white line is, I think it was mags, right? So mags started finding a bid, as did healthcare, as did financials, right? So we rotated, if we think about that pie, right? This is why ES held steady. I'm going to show you the difference. We rotated out of semis, I'm just going to do, and we rotated into healthcare. We rotated into the mag. We rotated into financials. We rotated into bios, right? Now, if we compare now, Get rid of everything here. Right, and let's change this to SPY. And we add on QQQ. And we go to a daily. Right. SPY never broke down. Right. If you look at the break, that's a break of the shelf on the Qs. Right. SPY never breaks that shelf. In fact, it breaks out because of what I've just shown you. Because in that pie chart, it rotated out of tech and it rotated into the other sectors, which held the market up. They can't do that on the Qs because the only thing in here is tech. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I've tried to go over that quite a lot the last few weeks of like why I position, which ones I prefer for long-term holds and what I like to trade. Right, they're two different things, right? They're two very different things of what I'm looking to be swing long or swing investment in versus what I like to day trade. They're very, very different mechanics. They work different ways. You have to understand what you are trading. It's one of the biggest things that I find is people don't even understand what they're trading a lot of the time. They do not understand what they're trading. They go, oh, it's futures. Great. Of what? Right? What are you trading? What's inside that contract? It's so important that you understand what you're trading. Even if you're going to buy a stock, what are you trading? What is that stock? What's its PE ratio? Does it have debt? Are they going to have to raise against the debt? You know, are there offerings coming? Are there outstanding warrants that they're going to issue? So many things you need to consider before you press buy and sell, right? Understand the mechanics. Right, I think we're pretty much there, folks. You've let me down a little bit, even though I've tried to give you some nice free lessons here, but we haven't got enough of you on stream. So, you know what? I'm feeling kind like always. So give me a second. Please don't do anything yet. Let me set this up. Okay. Type FZT once in chat. Whoever wins this, I will give you the option. All right. It will be up to you whether you would like a Lucid, one of the new Lucid accounts. Let me check what I've got available for you, or a My Funded Futures. So let me just check here. So you can either have a Lucid end of day 25k, all right, or you can have a My Funded Futures rapid end of day. They only do 50ks. All right, the choice is up to you. You can choose whoever wins this. But for both of those, the best code to use is FCT as always. Remember, every time you use my code, it does help me. It allows me to do stuff like today for free to support you guys back. All right. Because I am trying to teach you while other people are just talking shit. I am trying to actually help you guys. I'll give you guys a few minutes to do that. So who still has a sale on? Well, Lucid still has a sale on. Funded Next still has a sale on. My Funded Futures. Apex still 90% off. If you missed the sale with Take Profit, I will have a look. They might have gone down to 30% now. I'm not sure. I felt like that's what they would probably do, but let's have a look. There might be no sale at all now. Might just be a small discount. Can't see anything here. See if I put my code in, what it's offering at the moment. It is still 50%. I just put my code in. It's still coming up at 50% right now, so they might have forgotten to do it. Half of all evals and no activation fee. It's still working, guys. It was supposed to end last night, but it's still working. They extended it for 24 hours, did they? Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know that. So extended to end of today. Code flow zone for TPT, for Take Profit Trader, extended to end of today. Otherwise, for all the other prop firms, FZT will get you your best one. All right, let's pull this winner, and it'll be up to you what you get. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quartz P8Z. Quartz P8Z. Are you here, Quartz? Let me know you're here first. Thank you. You want Lucid? All right, nice, mate. Congratulations. Lucid 50K on the way to you then, my friend. All I'd ask you to do, email me info@flowzonetrader.com. Okay, send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube, please, my friend. Nice work. Nice work. How's my Moderna? I haven't even looked. Let's see. Did I pick up any more? Assuming it came back in because it was coming back in. I'm still up. I'm up 16%. I don't think I got filled anymore, but it's still holding. Right, that's Moderna. It's still holding the lows, and the longer it does it, the better for me. Because I think shorts will keep this. It's doing it, baby. It's doing it. I've seen this pattern too many times. It's doing it. All right, so remember, I entered long on this day here. My stop was this day here. We have now compacted here. If you can now move your stop up to here, and the longer this goes on, the more upset these shorts are going to be, because I've been the wrong side of this. This is a positive news with a major catalyst, and shorts this day would have piled in, right? Everyone's going, gap fill, it's got to go gap fill. Well, this is your best T+2 I've seen in a while. All right, this is looking very good for a mid-cap breakout kind of move of positive delta after a big news with volume consistently staying in. I'm just sitting in this. I don't care. I'll sit in this. All the time we're protecting that, I'm sitting in this because this has room, mate. This has room to get violent now. Look at that volume picking up. And I tell you what, they start breaking out over here, and this thing can go pretty turbo. Trust me, I've been the wrong side of these enough times. Yeah, I want to get all the way up here. And who knows? Who knows, right? And even if they stop me out, I'm willing to rebid this, right? I'm happy to take the stop and rebid that again, because I think long term, remember, into the news events, October to November. Their own news event is November. They have an event for someone else in October coming. If they start gassing this up and we start walking it up into those events, I'll then start taking partials in it. Hopefully I can start adding some size as we start working out. But it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good, hopefully. How many of you joined that with me? I did give it to you for free. How many of you joined that with me? Hopefully the guys in Discord did, because I gave it in detail in Discord. Qs are looking good here, folks, for you guys. You did. Nice work. Can I track the back end of your newsletter the last 2 months and still no newsletter? That doesn't make sense to me. I even tested it, and I've checked lots of people. I'm not sure what's going on there. Well, there's a buyer started trying to press on this tape for you guys. So hopefully, any of you are still long. Hopefully you get the move now. This is looking more and more better and better and better and better here for you guys. All right, even this is looking better and better and better. Boop, 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 held. All right. Your targets are in here. Remember, we already sold some into here this morning. If you get over this, and if you get over this bump, right, you're asking a lot to get over 320s. You've got to pay yourself some already up to 320s. If you get over that, your target for today is 400s, right? It's this purple box. That's your target if they get going. Oh my God. Was I early here? Was I still early? Should I bid that back out? Certainly looks that way at the moment. There go semis. There they go. I'll sit with you here for a moment or two to see if you can get up to this pivot. This is your New York Open. Remember, if you get over that, you're green on. Be green on the day anyway, but green versus New York Open. Right, if you get over this blue line. I'm not sure what that is, Lawrence. Can you try signing up from another email for me? Like gaming, if you do this one more time, you're going to get pulled out of this, mate. Stop spamming. It's done. It's gone. You tried Gmail and Hotmail. I don't understand then if you've tried two. Very odd. Yeah, I saw your couple of Fedora. I saw that email, but I checked in the inside Brevo, and it all looks okay. And I did some tests on it, and it all ran fine. And I can show you. So there's 3,851 contacts in there. Some of them have unsigned. So it's sent to 3,540 of them. And 1,816 opened it. They all received it. So all I can think of is that you've unsigned from it, because I can see it on my list. It's kind of weird. You found it was in an obscure folder. I'm so sorry. There you go. It's all right, mate. As long as you're getting it right, that's all that matters. Don't say sorry. I'm glad you're getting it. Happy days. Happy days. Cool. Yeah, try it. Let me know how it works. I did get your email. Sorry I didn't respond. I did check it all. But yeah, it's an odd one. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Nice trading with you guys today. NQ adding liquidity higher. Are they now driving higher? Let's see if they've got any up at 400s. 275, some into 350. Is there anyone up at 4s? There's a little bit, not a lot. It's looking better. As always, your guide, right, needs to be those semis. All right, so semis are coming up to these highs that we put in earlier. They are what's driving the market. Mag's looking good. It's pivoted back above VWAP. It's back above those 67.5s. All right, so they've got a chance to get up to 67, 65, the mags, if they hold VWAP. Semis needs to get back over New York VWAP and get to current day's open, which is 117.40. That's the level you're watching. Over that, acceptance over that, then you're through the midpoint. All right, but at the moment, we're not out of the woodwork yet, but it's looking better. VIX is consistently dripping down since that swipe, so maybe. All right, folks, peace and love, everyone. Trade safe this afternoon. You got to use hard stops. All right, if any of you didn't use hard stops earlier and you got caught in that, you've learnt your lesson. You got to use hard stops. This market, and any market, is not a market not to use hard stops in. Your TPs are here for you guys. Value area high. So what I'd be watching is 85s up to 300. Then I'd be watching into 320 2s, and then your runners today are up into the 400s. And if they turned it on for some reason, it'd be 600. I can't see that happening. I cannot see that happening. All right, you're in a clear channel up to here. You need to be locking some in on the way up and then just holding like I tried here to see if it will go. All right, team. I will see you tomorrow. All right. Hopefully the volatility will start picking up tomorrow afternoon. All right. So we expect volatility to pick up tomorrow afternoon. Peace and love, everyone. And yeah, trade safe. See you tomorrow.